roll and thank you, everybody.
Oh no.
Okay, your curtain's opening.
I'm like at the bottom, like that.
Where's my Twitch? There it is.
So proud of you.
Oh, your curtain's offset. There you go. Okay.
Ah.
Oh.
Ah.
I love we're people.
Nice.
Oh, Elemental Star Sever says they can't hear you.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Can everyone else hear her? / us?
Yes.
Hello.
Nope, they can't hear us.
No.
Please stand by. I'm moving
Uh-oh.
the chat over here.
Stand by.
Please stand by.
Let's see.
Can everyone else hear her?
I can hear.
Yes.
Oh, everyone but Deva.
Eva. Okay.
No, no.
I think you have to set up one for your
Oh,
own mic.
no.
Eva is
I think you have to set up an audio input for your own mic.
Oh, no.
Oh, then I don't know. Don't listen to me.
Well, listen to Christian in general, though.
That's fair.
We can't, we have to hear Deva, so we have to figure this
We do.
out.
So while
Christian is in a
Deva
tie again.
on
Mhm.
audio.
No, it would be audio input because
So
we're
Deva
on
just
your
introduced
audio output.
us as people who
Do
do
things.
things.
Who do things, yeah.
And we were all laughing about it, which you guys missed because she was silent.
There it is. But
All the sweetness.
Mhm.
Well, welcome to Brunch with the Bard. We're going to do Lady Windemere's fan. We're all fans of the fan, especially because
Mhm.
it's a heat wave in LA right now, and we could all use a fan.
Can you?
Or 10.
Shit, I have a fan somewhere. Where is it?
Y'all know me. I'm Ratana. Hi.
Oh, that's why the sound effects were going. Because they were looping. That's why we were getting some weird ass stuff.
Okay. Diva, can we hear you on the chat?
I don't know. Well, we'll find out in 15 seconds.
There you are. Okay.
So, you know,
okay.
it,
You are audible.
it wouldn't be Brunch with the Bard if Diva didn't have technical difficulties.
That's true. It's part of the experience.
Brunch with the Bard and technical difficulties.
We all feel strong now that we've done a thing. Like together we've accomplished something. And by together,
I really just
did it on
break
our own.
things for the dopamine hit because I need to feel like
Want the
I've
adrenaline.
accomplished something during this year. If I did one thing in 2020, it's get the audio working like every week. Anywho, so we're doing Lady Windemere's fan. So this is Oscar Wilde, and who I adore him. And this show is, oh, you have a fan.
Yep.
Nice.
I found one.
That's amazing.
It's I got it from the Formation World Tour.
I love it.
Beyonce fan.
I love it. Oh yeah, lemonade, the lemons. Wow, that took me a minute.
Okay, ladies. Now let's get information.
Yeah. So this is a special play because it deals a lot with like classism as well as the idea that people are binary. They are either good or evil. And we know that's not true. There's a lot more to people than that. So yeah, and we're a smaller cast, so there's going to be a lot of like multiple people playing multiple things, possibly talking to themselves as different people. We're going to go on that journey together. So
We did the best we could.
It's gonna be great.
So let us introduce ourselves. I guess since I'm talking, I will share who I is. I am playing the Duchess of Berwick. When you see me with this lovely shawl, what is this called? A snood? A shawl? A stole? A snood? What is a snood? That's a 1920s like
Snood is
hair
like
thing,
a
right?
hood. Yeah.
That's it, yeah. so we're learning vocabulary. Welcome to Vocabulary with me. So this means I am the Duchess of Berwick. I'm also playing Lady Plymdale, a guest at a ball that we're all going to be going to, and you're invited. So yeah, that's a thing. Wear your pajamas. Ratana, who's you?
Hi, I's Ratana. I am playing Lady Stutfield, Lady Jedburgh, Lady Agatha, many ladies, and I will also be reading your stage directions. And let me pass this on to our dear friend Tracey.
Hi, I'm Tracey Rooney. I'm still trying to figure out who I'm reading, though.
Oh, you are reading Mrs. Erlynne. Erlynne.
Mrs. Erlynne.
Mrs.
That's who I'm reading.
Uh-oh.
Mrs. Erlynne. I'm going to pass this to Allegra.
Hi, everyone. I'm Allegra, and I am going to be Lady Windemere herself, which is why I have a fan!
And we are from you. Mike, please.
Let's pass it down to Christian.
Hi, I'm Christian la Monte. I will be playing the incredibly generous and doting Lord Windemere, who is perfectly good, and nobody can say anything bad about that.
Oh, a bit you thought.
I will pass it along to Ryan.
Thank you. I am Ryan. I will be playing Lord Agustus, Rosalie, and Miss Cowper-Cowper.
Because she can't just be Cowper. She's got
No.
Can't just do one Cowper.
Cowper.
Probably a dash in the middle.
Yes. Cowper, yes. And I'll pass it on to Donald.
Hey guys, I'm Donald, and today I will be Parker and Mr. Cecil Graham.
Cecil, probably. Yeah.
We'll go with Cecil. And I will pass it to Mitch.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mitch. Today I will be playing Lord Darlington, Hopper, and Dumby.
Ooh.
Not to be confused with Gumby, our beloved
Dumbo.
green. Or Bubo, you said?
Dumbo.
Dumbo. Oh, my brain is going to...
Big ears.
Oh, and I have an exciting announcement for everyone in the chat. I'm getting emotes! Finally!
Hey!
I've been so indecisive, and so it's like trying to figure out, and then I said, we're doing them all. We're doing them all. So we're going to have many emotes, and I'm very excited. My dear friend Kageyama is going to be doing them, who does some amazing stuff, so I'm excited. There's going to be a spoon. There's going to be a Luna. There's going to be a fish. There's going to be more things.
Love
Yeah,
it.
Kage emotes. I'm very excited. So, shall we do the show? Shall
I mean,
we do
I
this?
suppose.
Shall we do
I mean,
We are here,
you know,
I guess.
we're
I guess,
here.
yeah, I guess that's why we have all assembled.
Yeah.
JK, we're actually not doing Lady Windemere's fan. You just have to listen to us talk.
Oh my goodness. Your favorite, Mike, thank you so much for giving all these subs to people. That is so sweet. Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
Thank
What?
Mike?
Oh
People
my gosh.
watching the subtitles. Thank you. Thank you. One day there's going to be a time when I just stream by myself and I'm going to feel so weird. I'm going to be like, I'm just going to be talking to myself, not knowing what to do. Because there's all these people. I'm like,
Just
thanks for...
self-worry.
It's an adventure, Deva. It's an adventure.
I've tried and I'm just like, I'm a person that's meant to be with other people. Like
That's what the chat are the other people. You just,
Yeah.
they're your friends.
in the weird introvert way of needing that. Oh my gosh, this is so sweet. So let's do this.
Let's do some things.
Let's do this. I'm gonna open the curtain again because
God, I feel like a slapping just keeps falling. A slap.
Without further ado, we present Oscar Wilde's Lady Windemere's Fan. The first act takes place in the morning room of Lord Windemere's house in Carlton House Terrace. There's a bureau with books and papers, a sofa with a small tea table. It's all very elegant, and there's a window opening out on a terrace. Lady Windemere is at the table arranging roses in a blue bowl, not to be confused with blue roses from Animal Crossing. Parker enters.
Is your ladyship at home this afternoon?
Yes, who's called?
Lord Darlington, my lady.
Show him up. And I'm at home to see anyone who calls.
Yes, my lady.
Parker exits.
It's best for me to see him again before tonight. I'm glad he's come.
Parker re-enters.
Lord Darlington.
How do you do, Lady Windemere?
How do you do, Lord Darlington? No, I can't shake hands with you. My hands are all wet with these roses. Aren't they lovely? They came up from Selby this morning.
They are quite perfect, and what a wonderful fan may I look at.
Oh, do! Pretty, isn't it? It's got my name on it and everything. I've only just seen it myself. It's my husband's birthday present to me. You know, today is my birthday.
No, is it really?
Yes, I'm of age today. Quite an important day in my life, isn't it? That's why I'm giving this party tonight. Oh, do sit down.
I wish I had known it was your birthday, Lady Windemere. I would have covered the whole street in front of your house with flowers for you to walk. They are made for you.
Lord Darlington, you annoyed me last night at the Foreign Office. I'm afraid you're going to annoy me again.
I, Lady Windemere?
Parker and a footman come in with a tea tray.
Put it there, Parker. That will do. Won't you come over, Lord Darlington?
I am quite miserable, Lady Windemere. You must tell me what I did.
Well, you kept paying me elaborate compliments the whole evening.
Nowadays, we are all of us so hard up that the only pleasant things to pay are compliments. They're the only things we can pay.
Oh, no, I am talking very seriously. You mustn't laugh. I'm quite serious. I don't like compliments, and I don't see why a man should think he is pleasing a woman enormously when he says to her a whole heap of things that he doesn't mean.
Ah, but I did mean them.
I hope not. I should be sorry to have to quarrel with you, Lord Darlington. I like you very much, you know that. But I shouldn't like you at all if I thought you were what most other men are. Believe me, you're better than most other men, and sometimes I think you pretend to be worse.
We all have our little vanities, Lady Windemere.
Why do you make that your special one?
Oh, nowadays so many conceited people go about society pretending to be good, that I think it shows rather a sweet and modest disposition to pretend to be bad. Besides, there's this to be said. If you pretend to be good, the world takes you very seriously. If you pretend to be bad, it doesn't. Such is the astounding stupidity of optimism.
Don't you want the world to take you seriously, then, Lord Darlington?
No, not the world. Who are the people the world takes seriously? All the dull people one can think of, from the bishops down to the bulls. I should like you to take me very seriously, Lady Windemere. You more than anyone else in my life.
Why? Why me?
Because I think we might be great friends. Let us be great friends. You may want a friend someday.
Why do you say that?
Oh, we all want friends at times.
I think we're very good friends already, Lord Darlington. We can always remain so as long as you don't...
Don't what?
Don't spoil it by saying extravagant, silly things to me. You think I'm a Puritan, I suppose. Well, I have something of a Puritan in me. I was brought up like that. I'm glad of it. My mother died when I was a mere child. I lived always with Lady Julia, my father's eldest sister, you know. She was stern to me, but she taught me what the world is forgetting. The difference that there is between what is right and what is wrong. She allowed no compromise. I allow of none.
My dear Lady Windemere.
You look on me as being behind the age. Well, I am. I should be sorry to be on the same level as an age like this.
You think the age very bad?
Yes. Nowadays people seem to look on life as a speculation. It is not a speculation, it is a sacrament. Its ideal is love. Its purification is sacrifice.
Oh, anything is better than being sacrificed.
Don't say that.
I do say it. I feel it. I know it.
Parker enters.
The men want to know if they are to put the carpets on the terrace for tonight, my lady?
You don't think it will rain, Lord Darlington, do you?
I won't hear if it's raining on your birthday.
Tell them to do it at once, Parker.
Parker leaves.
Do you think then, of course, I'm only putting an imaginary instance, do you think that in the case of a young married couple, say about 2 years married, if the husband suddenly becomes the intimate friend of a woman of, well, more than doubtful character, is always calling upon her, lunching with her, and probably paying her bills, do you think the wife should not console herself?
Console herself?
Yes, I think she should. I think she has the right.
Because the husband is vile. Should the wife be vile also?
Vileness is a terrible word, Lady Windemere.
It is a terrible thing, Lord Darlington.
Do you know, I am afraid that good people do a great deal of harm in this world. Certainly, the greatest harm they do is that they make badness of such extraordinary importance. It is absurd to divide people into good and bad. People are either charming or tedious. I take the side of the charming, and you, Lady Windermere, can't help belonging to me.
How, Lord Darlington. Don't stir. I'm merely going to finish my flowers.
I must say, I think you are very hard on modern life, Lady Windermere. Of course, there is much against it, I admit. Most women, for instance, nowadays are rather mercenary.
No, don't talk about such people.
Well then, setting aside mercenary people, who of course are dreadful, do you think seriously that women who have committed what the world calls a fault should never be forgiven?
I think they should never be forgiven.
And men? Do you think that there should be the same laws for men as there are for women?
Certainly.
I think life too complex to a thing to be settled by these hard and fast rules.
If we had these hard and fast rules, we should find life much more simple.
You allow no exceptions.
None.
What a fascinating Puritan you are, Lady Windermere.
The adjective was unnecessary, Lord Darlington.
I couldn't help it. I can resist everything except temptation.
You have the modern affectation of weakness.
It's only an affectation, Lady Windermere.
Parker enters.
The Duchess of Berwick and Lady Agatha Carlisle.
And he leaves.
Oh, dear Margaret, I'm so pleased to see you. You remember Agatha, don't you? How do you do, Lord Darlington? I won't let you know that my daughter... Well, I won't let you know, my daughter. You are far too wicked.
Don't say that, Duchess. As a wicked man, I am a complete failure. Why, there are lots of people who say I have never really done anything wrong in the whole course of my life. Of course, they only say it behind my back.
Isn't he dreadful? Agatha, this is Lord Darlington. Agatha, darling, I don't see you.
I was hiding, Mama, behind your skirts.
Oh, goodness, dear. Mind you, don't believe a word he says. No tea, dear, thank you. We just had tea at Lady Markaby's. Such bad tea, too. It was quite undrinkable. Wasn't at all surprised. Her own son-in-law supplies it. Agatha is looking forward so much to your ball tonight, dear Margaret.
Oh, you mustn't think it's going to be a ball, Duchess. It is only a dance in honor of my birthday. Small and early.
Very small, very early, very select, Duchess.
Well, of course it's going to be select. We know that, dear Margaret, about your house. It really is one of those few houses in London where I can take Agatha and where I feel perfectly secure about dear Berwick. I don't know what society is coming to. The most dreadful people seem to go everywhere. They certainly come to my parties. The men get quite furious if one doesn't ask them. Really, someone should make a stand against it.
I will, Duchess. I will have no one in my house about whom there is any scandal.
Oh, don't say that, Lady Windermere. I should never be admitted.
Oh, men don't matter. With women, it is different. We're good. Some of us are, at least. But we are positively getting elbowed into the corner. Our husbands would forget we exist if we didn't nag at them from time to time just to remind them that we have the perfect legal right to.
It's a curious thing, Duchess, about the game of marriage. A game, by the way, that is going out of fashion. The wise hold all the honors and invariably lose the odd trick.
The odd trick? Is that the husband, Lord Darlington?
It would be rather a good name for the modern husband.
Oh, dear Lord Darlington, how thoroughly depraved you are. Oh.
Lord Darlington is trivial.
Don't say that, Lady Windermere.
Why do you talk so trivially about life, then?
Because I think that life is far too important a thing ever to take seriously about it.
What does he mean? Do as a concession to my poor wits, Lord Darlington. Just explain to me what you really mean.
I think I had better not, Duchess. Nowadays, to be intelligible is to be found out. Goodbye. And now, Lady Windermere, goodbye. I may come tonight, may not I? Do let me come.
Yes, certainly. But you are not to say foolish, insincere things to people.
Ah, you are beginning to reform me. It is a dangerous thing to reform anyone, Lady Windemere.
Darlington out.
What a charming, wicked creature. Oh, I like him so much. I'm quite delighted he's gone. How sweet you're looking. Where do you get your gowns? And I must tell you how sorry I am for your dear Margaret. Agatha, darling.
Yes, Mama?
Will you go and look over the photograph album I set there? I see there even.
Oh, yes, Mama.
Dear girl, she is so fond of photographs of Switzerland. Such a pure taste, I think. But I really am sorry for you, Margaret.
Why, Duchess?
On account of that horrid woman. She dresses so well, too, which makes it worse. Sets such a dreadful example. Agustus, you know, my disreputable brother, such a trial to us all. Well, Agustus is completely infatuated with her. It is quite scandalous, for she is absolutely inadmissible into society. Many a woman has a past, and I am told that she has a dozen at least, and they all fit.
Whom are you talking about, Duchess?
About Mrs. Erlynne.
Mrs. Erlynne?
Yes.
Well, I've never heard of her, Duchess, and what has she to do with me?
Oh, my poor child, Agatha, darling.
Oh, yes, Mama.
Will you go out on the terrace and look at the sunset?
Oh, yes, Mama.
Sweet girl, so devoted to sunsets, shows such refinement of feeling, does it not? After all, there is nothing like nature, is there?
But what is it, Duchess? Why do you talk to me about this person?
Don't you really know? I assure you we're all so distressed about it. Only last night at my dear Lady Jansen's, everyone was saying how extraordinary it was that, of all men in London, Windemere should behave this way.
My husband? What has he got to do with any woman of that kind?
Ah, what indeed, dear? That is the point. He goes to see her continually and stops for many hours at a time, and while he is there, she is not home to anyone. Not that many ladies call on her, dear, but she has a great many disreputable men friends. My own brother, particularly, as I told you, and that is what makes it so dreadful about Windemere. We looked upon him as being such a model husband, but I'm afraid there is no doubt about it. My dear nieces, you know the Seville girls, don't you? Such nice domestic creatures, plain, dreadfully plain, but so good. Well, they're always at window doing fancy work and making ugly things for the poor, which I think so useful in them in these dreadful socialistic days. And this terrible woman has taken a house in the Curzon Street right opposite them, in such a respectful street, too. I don't know what we're coming to. And they tell me that Windemere goes there 4 or 5 times a week. They see him. They can't help it. And although they never talk scandal, well, of course, they remark on it to everyone. And the worst of it all, is that I have been told this woman has got a great deal of money out of somebody. For it seems she came to London 6 months ago without anything at all to speak of. And now she has this charming house in Mayfair, drives her ponies in the park every afternoon, and all. And she has known poor dear Windemere.
I can't believe it.
Well, it's quite true, my dear. The whole of London knows it. That's why I felt better to come and talk to you and advise you to take Windemere away to Homburg or to Aix, and we'll have something to amuse him and where you can watch him all day long. I assure you, my dear, that on several occasions after I was first married, I had to pretend to be very ill and was obliged to drink the most unpleasant mineral waters merely to get Berwick out of town.
He was so extremely susceptible. Though I am bound to say he never gave away any large sums of money to anybody. He is far too high-principled for that.
Duchess, it's impossible. We are only married 2 years. Our child is but 6 months old.
Oh, the dear pretty
She's so upset she
baby.
has to sit.
What?
She's so upset she has to sit.
Oh, she does, yes. Oh, my dear pretty baby. Oh, how is the little darling? Is it a boy or a girl? Oh, I hope a girl. No, I remember it's a boy. I'm so sorry. Boys are so wicked. My boy is excessively immoral. You wouldn't believe what hours he comes home, and he's only left Oxford a few months. I really don't know what they teach there.
Are all men bad?
Oh, all of them, my dear, all of them, without any exception. And they never grow better. Men become old, but they never become good.
Windemere and I married for love.
Yes, we began like that. It was only Berwick's brutal and incessant threats of suicide that made him accept him at all. And before the year was out, he was running after all kinds of petticoats in every colour, every shape, every material. In fact, before the honeymoon was over, I caught him winking at my maid, a most pretty, respectable girl. I despised her at once without character. No, I remember I passed her on to my sister. Oh, poor dear Sir George is so short-sighted. I thought it wouldn't matter. But it did, though. It was most unfortunate. And now, my dear, I must go, as we are dining out. And mind you, don't take this little aberration of Windemere's too much to heart. Just take him abroad, and he'll come back to you all right.
Come back to me?
Yes, dear, these wicked women get our husbands away from us, but they always come back, slightly damaged, of course, and don't make scenes. Men hate them.
It is very kind of you, Duchess, to come and tell me all this, but I can't believe my husband is untrue to me.
Oh, pretty child. I was like that once. Now I know all men are monsters.
Rings a bell.
The only thing to do is to feed the wretches well. A good cook does wonders, I know that you have. My dear Margaret, you are not going to cry.
Oh, you needn't be afraid, Duchess. I never cry.
That's quite right, dear. Crying is the refuge of plain women, but ruin of the pretty ones. Agatha, darling!
Oh, yes, Mamma?
Come and bid goodbye to Lady Windemere, and thank her for your charming visit. And by the way, I must thank you for sending a card to Mr. Hooper. He's that rich young Australian people are taking such notice of at present. His father made a great fortune by selling some kind of food in circular tins. Most palatable, I believe. I fancy it is the thing the servants always refuse to eat. But the son is quite interesting. I think he's distracted by dear Agatha's clever talk. Of course, we should be very sorry to lose her, but I think that a mother who doesn't part with a daughter every season has no real affection. Well, we're coming tonight, dear. And remember my advice, take the poor fellow out of town at once. It is the only thing to do. Goodbye once more. Come, Agatha!
I'm coming. Duchess and Agatha out.
How horrible. I understand now what Lord Darlington meant by the imaginary instance of a couple not 2 years married. Oh, it can't be true. She spoke of enormous sums of money paid to this woman. I know where Arthur keeps his bank book, in one of the drawers of that desk. I might find out by that. I will find out. No, it is some hideous mistake. There's some silly scandal. He loves me. He loves me. But why should I not look? I am his wife. I have the right to look.
He returns to the desk, takes out a book and examines it page by page, and gives a sigh of relief.
I knew it. There is not a word of truth in this stupid story.
Look back to the drawer as she does so, starts and takes out another book.
The second book. Private. Locked.
Tries to open it, fails, sees a paper knife on the bureau, and cuts the cover from the book. Begins to start at the first page.
Mrs. Erlynne, £600. Mrs. Erlynne, £700. Mrs. Erlynne, £400. Oh, it is true. It is true. How horrible!
Book on the floor, and her husband casually enters. Without sound.
Her husband is back. Well, dear husband, send home yet? Margaret, you've cut open my bank book. You have no right to do such a thing.
You think it is wrong that you are found out, don't you?
I think it is wrong that a wife should spy on her husband.
I did not spy on you. I never knew of this woman's existence till half an hour ago. Someone who pitied me was kind enough to tell me what everyone in London knows already. Your daily visits to Curzon Street, your mad infatuation, the monstrous sums of money you squander on this infamous woman.
Margaret, don't talk like that of Mrs. Erlynne. You don't know how unjust it is.
You are very jealous of Mrs. Erlynne's honour. I wish you'd been as jealous of mine.
Your honour is untouched, Margaret. You don't think for a moment that I
think that you spend your money strangely, that's all. Oh, don't imagine I mind about the money. As far as I'm concerned, you may squander everything we have. But what I do mind is that you who have loved me, you who have taught me to love you, should pass from the love that is given to the love that is bought. Oh, it is horrible. And it is I who feel degraded. You don't feel anything. I feel stained, utterly stained. You can't realize how hideous the last 6 months seem to me now. Every kiss you have given me is tainted in my memory.
Don't say that, Margaret. I have never loved anyone in the whole world but you.
Who is this woman, then? Why do you take a house for her?
I did not take a house for her.
Oh, you have the money. You gave her the money to do it, which is the same thing.
Margaret, as far as I have known Mrs. Erlynne.
Oh, is there a Mr. Erlynne, or is he a myth?
Her husband died many years ago. She is alone in the world.
No relations?
None.
Rather curious, isn't it?
Margaret, I was saying to you, and I beg you to listen to me, that as far as I have known Mrs. Erlynne, she has conducted herself well. If years ago...
Oh, I don't want details about her life.
I am not going to give you any details about her life. I tell you simply this. Mrs. Erlynne was once honoured, loved, respected. She was well born, she had position, she lost everything. Threw it away, if you like. That makes it all the more bitter. Misfortunes one can endure. They come from outside, they are accidents, but to suffer for one's own faults, there is the sting of life. It was 20 years ago, too. She was little more than a girl then. She had been a wife for even less time than you have.
Ah, I have no interest in her, and you should not mention this woman and me in the same breath. It is an error of taste.
Margaret, you could save this woman. She wants to get back into society, and she wants you to help her.
Me?
Yes, you.
Oh, how impertinent of her.
Margaret, I came to ask you for a great favor, and I still ask it of you. Though you have discovered that what I intended, you should never have known that I have given Mrs. Erlynne a large sum of money. I want you to send her an invitation for our party tonight, yes?
You are mad!
I entreat you. People may chatter about her, of course, but they don't know anything definite against her. She has been to several houses, not to the houses where you would go, I admit, but still to houses where women who are in what is called society nowadays do go. That does not content her. She wants you to receive her once.
It's a triumph for her, I suppose?
No, but because she knows that you are a good woman, and that if she comes here, she will have a chance at a happier, a surer life than she has had. She will make no further effort to know you. Won't you help a woman who is trying to get back?
No. If a woman really repents, she never wishes to return to the society that has made or seen her ruin.
Margaret, I beg of you.
I am going to dress for dinner, and don't mention the subject again this evening. Arthur, you fancy that because I have no father or mother that I am alone in this world, and that you can treat me as you choose. You are wrong. I have friends. Many friends.
Margaret, you are talking foolishly, recklessly. I won't argue with you. But I insist upon your asking Mrs. Erlynne tonight.
I shall do nothing of the kind.
You refuse?
Absolutely.
Margaret, do this for my sake. It is her last chance.
What has that to do with me?
How hard, good woman, now.
How weak bad men are.
Margaret, none of us men may be good enough for the women we marry. That is quite true, but you don't imagine I would ever... Oh, the suggestion alone is monstrous.
Why should you be different from other men? I am told there is hardly a husband in London who does not waste his life over some shameful passion.
I am not one of them.
I am not sure of that.
You are sure in your heart. Please, don't make chasm after chasm between us. God knows the last few minutes have thrust us wide enough apart. Sit down and write the card.
Nothing in the whole world would induce me.
And I will.
An electric bell and is writing a card.
You are going to invite this woman?
Yes. Parker!
Yes, my lord.
Have this note sent to Miss Erlynne at number 84A Curzon Street. There is no answer.
Parker exits.
Arthur, if that woman comes here, I shall insult her.
Margaret, don't say that.
I mean it.
Child, if you do such a thing, there is not a woman in London who wouldn't pity you.
There is not a good woman in London who would not applaud me. We have been too lax. We must make an example. I propose to begin tonight. Yes, you gave me this fan today. It was your birthday present. If that woman crosses my threshold, I should strike her across the face with it.
Margaret, you wouldn't do such a thing.
You don't know me.
Parker enters.
Parker?
Yes, my lady.
I shall dine in my own room. I don't want dinner, in fact. See that everything is ready by 10:30. And Parker, be sure you pronounce the names of the guests very distinctly tonight. Sometimes you speak so fast that I miss them. I'm particularly anxious to hear the names quite clearly, so as to make no mistake. You understand, Parker?
Yes, my lady.
That will do.
Parker exits.
Arthur, if that woman comes here, I warn you.
Margaret, you'll ruin us.
Us! From this moment, my life is separate from yours. But if you wish to avoid a public scandal, write at once to this woman and tell her that I forbid her to come here.
I will not. I cannot. She must come.
Then I shall do exactly as I have said. You leave me no choice.
Lady Windemere out.
Margaret! Margaret! My God. What shall I do? I dare not tell her who this woman really is. The shame would kill her.
And as he sinks down into a chair and buries his face in his hands, the curtain drops on Act 1. Act 2. The scene is a drawing room in Lord Windemere's house. The door opens into a ballroom where the band is playing, guests are entering. It's a beautiful night. There's an illuminated terrace, palms, flowers, brilliant lights, room crowded with guests. Lady Windemere is graciously receiving them. And Deva is quiet.
Oh, it's because I had not turned on this device to speak. Well, so strange Mr. Windemere isn't here. Mr. Hooper is very late too. You have kept those 5 dances for him, Agatha?
Yes, Mama.
Let me see your card. I'm so glad Lady Windemere has revived cards. They're a mother's only safeguard. You dear, simple little thing. No nice girl should ever waltz with such a particularly younger sons. It looks so fast. The last 2 dances you might pass up on the terrace with Mr. Hooper.
Mr. Dumby and Lady Plymdale enter from the ballroom. Yes, Mama.
The air is so pleasant here.
Mrs. Cowper-Cowper, Lady Stutfield, Sir James Royston, Mr. Guy Berkeley.
Good evening, Lady Stutfield. I suppose this will be the last ball of the season.
Oh, I suppose so, Mr. Dumby. It's been a delightful season, hasn't it?
Quite delightful. Good evening, Duchess. I suppose this will be the last ball of the season?
I suppose so, Mr. Dumby. It has been a very dull season, hasn't it?
Dreadfully dull. Dreadfully dull.
Good evening, Mr. Dumby. I suppose this will be the last ball of the season?
Oh, I think not. There'll probably be 2 more.
He wanders back to Lady Plymdale.
Mr. Rutford, Lady Jedburgh, and Miss Graham, Mr. Hopper.
How do you do, Lady Windemere? How do you do, Duchess?
Dear Mr. Hopper, how very nice of you to come early. We all know how you run after in London.
Capital place, London. They're not nearly so exclusive in London as they are in Sydney.
Oh, we know your value, Mr. Hooper. Hopper, even, I'm not sure. We wish there were more like you. It would make life so much easier. Do you know, Mr. Hopper, dear Agatha and I are so very interested in Australia. It must be so pretty with all those dear little kangaroos flying about. Agatha has found it on a map. What a curious shape it is, just like a large packing case. However, it is a very young country, isn't it?
Wasn't it made at the same time as the other statues?
Oh, how clever you are, Mr. Hooper. You have a cleverness quite of your own. Now, I mustn't keep you.
But I should like to dance with Lady Agatha, Duchess.
Oh, well, I hope she has a dance left. Have you a dance left, Agatha?
Yes, Mama.
The next one?
Yes, Mama.
May I have the pleasure?
Oh, mind you take great care of my little chatterbox, Mr. Hooper.
And Agatha and Hopper head to the dance floor. Enter Lord Windemere.
Margaret, I want to speak with you, please.
In a moment.
Lord Augustus Lawton.
Lord Augustus enters.
Good evening, Lady Windemere.
Yes. What? I'm sorry, I was responding to chat in the ballroom. But you said good. Yes, Sir James. Will you take me into the ballroom? Augustus has been dining with us tonight. I really have had quite enough of dear Augustus for the moment.
Sir James Royston gives the Duchess's arm and escorts her to the ballroom.
Mr. and Mrs. Arthur Bowden, Lord and Lady Paisley, Lord Darlington.
They enter.
Oh, I want to speak to you particularly, dear boy. I'm worn to a shadow. No, I don't look it. None of us men do look what we really are. Deemed good thing, too. What I want to know is this. Who is she? Where does she come from? Why hasn't she got any demmed relations? Dem nuisance relations, but they make one deemed respectable.
You are talking of Mrs. Erlynne, I suppose. I've only met her 6 months ago. Till then, I never knew of her existence.
You have seen a good deal of her since then?
Yes, I have seen a good deal of her since then. I have just seen her.
Egad, the women are very down on her. I have been dining with Arabella this evening. By Jove! You should have heard what they said about Miss Erlynne. She didn't leave a rag on her. Berwick and I told her that didn't matter much, as the ladies in question must have an extremely fine figure. You should have seen Arabella's expression. But look here, dear boy. I don't know what you do about Miss Erlynne. Gad, I might be married to her. She treats me with such deemed indifference. She's deuced clever, too. She explains everything. Gad, she explains to you. She has got any amount of explanation for you, and all of them different.
Well, no explanations are necessary about my friendship with Mrs. Erlynne.
Well, look here, oh dear old fellow. Do you think she will ever get into this damned thing called society? Would you introduce her to your wife? No, you beating about the confounded bush. Would you do that?
It so happens Mrs. Erlynne is coming here tonight.
Your wife has sent a card?
Mrs. Erlynne has received the card.
Then she'll be all right, my dear boy. But why didn't you tell me that before? It would have saved me a heap of worry and damned misunderstandings.
Lady Agatha and Mr. Hopper cross and exit on the terrace.
Mr. Cecil Graham.
He enters.
Good evening, Arthur. Why don't you ask me how I am? I like people to ask me how I am. It shows a widespread interest in my health. Now tonight, I am not at all well. Been dining with my people. Wonder why it is one's people are always so tedious. My father would talk morality after dinner. I told him he was old enough to know better. But my experience is that as soon as people are old enough to know better, they don't know anything at all. Hello, Tuppy. Hear you're going to be married again. Thought you were tired of that game.
You're excessively trivial, my dear boy. Excessively trivial.
By the way, Tuppy, which is it? Have you been twice married and once divorced, or twice divorced and once married? I say you've been twice divorced and once married. It seems so much more probable.
I have a very bad memory. I really don't remember which.
He moves away.
Lord Windemere, I've something most particular to ask of you.
I am afraid, if you will excuse me, I must join my wife.
Oh, you mustn't dream of such a thing. It's most dangerous nowadays for a husband to pay any attention to his wife in public. It always makes people think that he beats her when they're alone. The whole world has grown so suspicious of anything that looks like a happy married life. But I'll tell you what it is at supper.
She moves towards the door of the ballroom.
Margaret, I must speak to you.
Will you hold my fan for me, Lord Darlington? Thanks.
Margaret, what you said before dinner was, of course, impossible.
That woman is not coming here tonight.
Mrs. Erlynne is coming here, and if you in any way annoy or wound her, you will bring shame and sorrow on us both. Remember that. Margaret, only trust me. A wife should trust her husband.
London is full of women who trust their husbands. One can always recognize them. They look so thoroughly unhappy. I am not going to be one of them. Lord Darlington, will you give me back my fan, please? Thanks. A useful thing, a fan, isn't it? I want a friend tonight, Lord Darlington. I didn't know I would want one so soon.
Lady Windemere, I knew the time would come someday. Why tonight?
I will tell her. I must. It would be terrible if there were any scene. Margaret!
Mrs. Erlynne.
Lord Windemere starts. Mrs. Erlynne enters, gorgeously dressed, super dignified. Lady Windemere clutches at her fan, then lets it drop to the floor. She bows coldly to Lady Erlynne, Mrs. Erlynne, who bows to her sweetly in turn and then sails into the room.
You dropped your fan, Lady Windemere.
He picks it up and hands it to her.
How do you do again, Lord Windemere? How charming your sweet wife looks. What a picture.
What's terribly rash of you to come.
The wisest thing I ever did in my life. And by the way, you must pay me a good deal of attention this evening. I am afraid of the women. You must introduce me to some of them. The men I can always manage. How do you do, Lord Agustus? You have quite neglected me lately. I have not seen you since yesterday. I am afraid you're faithless. Everyone told me so.
Now, really, Miss Erlynne, allow me to explain.
No, dear Lord Augustus, you can't explain anything. It is your chief charm.
Ah, if you find charm in me, Miss Erlynne.
Continue their conversation. Lord Windemere moves uneasily about the room, watching Mrs. Erlynne.
How pale you are.
Howards are always pale.
You look faint. Come out on the terrace.
Yes. The Parker, send my cloak out.
Lady Windemere, how beautifully your terrace is illuminated. Reminds me of Prince Doria's at Rome.
Lady Windemere bows coldly and walks off with Lord Darlington.
Oh, how do you do, Mr. Graham? Is that your aunt, Lady Jedburgh? I should so much like to know her.
Oh, certainly, if you wish it. Aunt Caroline, allow me to introduce Mrs. Erlynne.
So nice, so pleased to meet you, Lady Jedburgh. Your nephew and I are great friends. I am so much interested in his political career. I think he's sure to be a wonderful success. He thinks like a Tory, talks like a radical, and that's so important nowadays. He's such a brilliant talker, too. But we all know from whom he inherits that. Lord Allendale was saying to me only yesterday in the park that Mr. Graham talks almost as well as his aunt.
It's most kind of you to say these charming things to me. Mrs. Erlynne smiles. They continue their conversation while...
Did you introduce Mrs. Erlynne to Lady Jedburgh?
Had to, my dear fellow. Couldn't help it. That woman can make one do anything she wants. How, I don't know.
Hope to goodness she won't speak to me.
He saunters towards Lady Plymdale.
On Thursday, with great pleasure. What a bore it is to be civil to these old dowagers, but they always insist on it.
Who is that well-dressed woman talking to Windemere?
Haven't got the slightest idea. Looks like an edition deluxe of a wicked French novel. Meant specifically for the English market.
So that is poor Dumby with Lady Plymdale. I hear she is frightfully jealous of him. He doesn't seem anxious to speak to me tonight. I suppose he is afraid of her. Those straw-colored women have dreadful tempers. Did you know I think I'll dance with you first, Windemere? It will make Lord Augustus so jealous. Lord Augustus! Lord Windemere insists on my dancing with him first, and as it is his own house, I can't well refuse. You know I would so much sooner dance with you.
I wish I could think so, Miss Erwin.
You know it far too well. I can fancy a person dancing through life with you and finding it charming.
Oh, thank you, thank you. You are the most adorable of all ladies.
Good.
Oh, was it a nice speech?
Yes, it was, wasn't it? Such a nice speech. So simple and so sincere. Just the sort of speech I like. Well, you shall hold my bouquet. Mr. Dumby, how are you? I'm so sorry I've been out the last 3 times you have called. Come and lunch on Friday. Dumby?
Delighted.
Lady Plymdale glares with indignation at Dumby. Augustus follows Mrs. Erlynne and Lord Windemere into the ballroom, holding the bouquet.
What an absolute brute you are. I never can believe a word you say. Why did you tell me you didn't know her? What do you mean by calling on her 3 times running? You are not to go to lunch there. Of course, you understand that?
My dear Laura, I wouldn't dream of going.
You haven't told me her name yet. Who is she?
She's Mrs. Erlynne.
That woman?
Yes, that's what everyone calls her.
How very interesting. How intensely interesting. I really must have a good stare at her.
He looks through the ballroom and peeks in.
I have heard the most shocking things about her. They say she is ruining poor Windemere, and Lady Windemere, who goes in for being so proper, invites her. How extremely amusing. It takes a thoroughly good woman to do a thoroughly stupid thing. You are to lunch there on Friday.
Why?
Because I want you to take my husband with you. He has been so attentive lately, and that has been a perfect nuisance. Now this woman is just the thing for him. He'll dance attendance upon her as long as she lets him, and won't bother me. I assure you, women of that kind are most useful. They form the basis of other people's marriages.
What a mystery you are.
I wish you were.
I am, to myself. I'm the only person in the world I should like to know thoroughly. But I don't see any chance of it just at present.
They walk into the ballroom and Lady Windemere and Lord Darlington enter from the terrace.
Yes, her coming here is monstrous, unbearable. I know now what you've meant today at tea time. Why didn't you tell me right out? You should have.
I couldn't. A man can't tell these things about another man. But if I had known he was going to make you ask her here tonight, I think I would have told you. That insult, at any rate, you would have been spared.
Not ask her. He insisted on her coming against my entreaties, against my commands. The house is tainted for me. I feel that every woman here sneers at me as she dances by with my husband. What have I done to deserve this? I gave him all my life. He used it, took it, spoiled it. I am degraded in my own eyes, and I lack courage. I am a coward.
It's dramatically down on the sofa.
If I know you at all, I know that you can't live with a man who treats you like this. What sort of life would you have with him? You would feel that he is lying to you every moment of the day. You would feel that the look in your eye and his eyes was false, his voice false, his touch false, his passion false. He would come to you when he was weary of others. You would have to comfort him. He would come to you when he was devoted to others. You would have to charm him. You would have to be to him the mask of his real life, the cloak to hide his secrets.
You are right. You're terribly right. But where am I to turn? You said you would be my friend, Lord Darlington. Tell me, what am I to do? Be my friend now.
Between men and women, there is no friendship possible. This is passion, enmity, worship, love, but no friendship. I love you.
No.
Yes, I love you. You are more to me than anything in the whole world. What does your husband give you? Nothing. Whatever is in him, he gives to his wretched woman, whom he has thrust into your society, into your home, to shame you before everyone. I offer you my life.
Oh, Darlington!
My life, my whole life. Take it and do with it what you will. I love you. Love you as I have never loved any living thing. From the moment I met you, I loved you. Loved you blindly, adoringly, madly. You did not know it then. You know it now. Leave this house tonight. I won't tell you that the world matters nothing, or the world's voice, or the voice of society. They matter a great deal. They matter far too much. But there are moments when one has to choose between living one's own life, fully, entirely, completely, or dragging out some false, shallow, degrading existence the world and its hypocrisy demands. You have that moment now. Choose. Oh, my love, choose.
Both the chat, walk away, girl. She looks at him with startled eyes.
I have not the courage.
Yes, you have the courage. There may be 6 months of pain, of disgrace even, but when you no longer bear his name, when you bear mine, all will be well. Margaret, my love, my wife that shall be someday. Yes, my wife. You know it. What are you now? This woman has the place that belongs by right to you. Oh, go out of this house with head erect, with a smile upon your lips, with courage in your eyes. All London will know why you did it, and who will blame you? No one. If they do what matter, wrong? What is wrong? It's wrong for a man to abandon his wife for a shameless woman. It is wrong for a wife to remain with a man who so dishonors her. You said once you would make no compromise with things. Make none now. Be brave. Be yourself.
I'm afraid of being myself. Let me think. Let me wait. My husband may return to me.
And you would take him back? You are not what I thought you were. You are just the same as every other woman. You would stand anything rather than face the censure of a world whose praise you would despise. In a week, you will be driving with this woman in the park. She will be your constant guest, your dearest friend. You would endure anything rather than break with one blow this monstrous tie. You are right. You have no courage. None.
Give me time to think. I cannot answer you now.
It must be now, or not at all.
Then, not at all.
You break my heart.
Mine is already broken.
Tomorrow I leave England. This is the last time I shall ever look upon you. You will never see me again. For one moment our lives met, our souls touched. They must never meet or touch again. Goodbye, Margaret.
Darlington out.
How alone I am in life. How terribly alone.
The music stops. The Duchess of Berwick and Lord Paisley laughing and talking. Other guests come on in from the ballroom. Everything gets quiet.
And the Duchess of Berwick is talking.
Yes, I was changing. Well, dear.
She needs a little help.
my maid. Well, dear Margaret, I've just been having such a delightful chat with Mrs. Erlynne. I am so sorry for what I said to you this afternoon about her. Of course, she must be all right if you invite her. A most attractive woman, and has such sensible views on life. Told me she entirely disapproved of people marrying more than once, so I feel quite safe about poor Agustus. I can't imagine why people speak against her. It's those horrid nieces of mine, the Seville girls. They're always talking scandal. Still, I should go to Homburg, dear. I really should. She is just a little too attractive. But where is Agatha? Oh, there she is.
Lady Agatha and Mr. Hopper enter from the terrace.
Oh, Mr. Hopper, I am very, very angry with you. You have taken Agatha out on the terrace, and she is so delicate.
Awfully sorry, Duchess. We went out for a moment and got chatting together.
About dear Australia, I suppose?
Yes.
Agatha, darling.
Yes, Mamma.
Did Mr. Hooper definitely...
Yes, Mamma.
And what answer did you give him, dear child?
Yes, Mamma.
My dear one, you always say the right thing. Mr. Hooper, James, Agatha has told me everything. How cleverly you both have kept your secret.
You don't mind my taking Agatha off to Australia then, Duchess?
Oh, to Australia! Don't mention that dreadful vulgar place.
But she said she'd like to come with me.
Did you say that, Agatha?
Yes, Mamma.
Agatha, you say the most silly things possible. I think the whole of Grosvenor Square would be a more healthy place to reside in. There are lots of vulgar people living in Grosvenor Square, but at any rate there are no horrid kangaroos crawling about. But we'll talk about that tomorrow. James, you can take Agatha down. You'll come to lunch, of course, James, at 1:30 instead of 2. The Duke will wish to say a few words to you, I am sure.
I should like to have a chat with the Duke, Duchess. He has not said a single word to me yet.
I think you'll find he will have a great deal to say to you tomorrow. And,
Lady Agatha and Mr. Hopper exit.
And good night, Margaret. I'm afraid it's the old story, dear. Love. Well, not love at first sight, but love at the end of the season, which is so much more satisfactory.
Good night, Duchess.
Yeah, good night.
The Duchess exits on Lord Paisley's arm.
Oh, my dear Margaret, what a handsome woman your husband has been dancing with. I should be quite jealous if I were you. Is she a great friend of yours?
No.
Oh, really? Good night, dear.
She looks at Dumby and exits.
Awful manners young Hopper has.
Ah, Hopper is one of nature's gentlemen, the worst type of gentleman I know.
A sensible woman, Lady Windemere. Lots of wives would have objected to Mrs. Erlynne, but Lady Windemere has that uncommon thing called common sense.
And Windemere knows that nothing looks so like innocence as an indiscretion.
Yes, dear Windemere is becoming almost modern. Never thought he would.
He bows to Lady Windemere and exits. Good night, Lady Windemere. What a fascinating woman Mrs. Erlynne is. She's coming to lunch on Thursday. Won't you come too? I expect the Bishop and dear Lady Merton.
I am afraid I am engaged, Lady Jedburgh.
Oh, so sorry. Come, dear. She leaves with Miss Graham. Mrs. Erlynne and Lord Windemere enter.
Charming ball it has been. Quite reminds me of old days. And I see that there are just as many fools in society as there used to be. So pleased to find that nothing has altered. Except Margaret. She's grown quite pretty. The last time I saw her 20 years ago, she was a fright in flannel. Positive fright, I assure you. The dear Duchess and that sweet Lady Agatha. Just the type of girl I like. Well, really, Windemere, if I am to be the Duchess's sister-in-law...
But are you...
Cecil Graham exits with the rest of the guests. Lady Windemere watches with a look of scorn and pain at Mrs. Erlynne and her husband. They are unconscious of her presence.
Oh, yes. He's to call tomorrow at 12 o'clock. He wanted to propose tonight. In fact, he did. He kept on proposing. Poor Agustus, you know how he repeats himself. Such a bad habit. But I told him I wouldn't give him an answer until tomorrow. Of course I'm going to take him. And I dare say I'll make him an admirable wife, as wives go. And there is a great deal of good in Lord Agustus. Fortunately, it is all on the surface, just where good qualities should be. Of course, you must help me in this matter.
I am not called on to encourage Lord Augustus, I suppose.
Oh, no, I do the encouraging, but you will make me a handsome settlement, Windemere, won't you?
Is that what you want to talk to me about tonight?
Yes.
I will not talk of it here.
Then we will talk of it on the terrace. Even business should have a picturesque background, should it not, Windemere? With a proper background, women can do anything.
Won't tomorrow do as well?
No, you see, tomorrow I'm going to accept him, and I think it would be a good thing if I was able to tell him that, well, what should I say, £2,000 a year left to me by a third cousin or a second husband or some distant relative of that kind. It would be an additional attraction, wouldn't it? You have a delightful opportunity now of paying me a compliment, Windemere. But you are not very clever at paying compliments. I am afraid Margaret doesn't encourage you in that excellent habit. It is a great mistake on her part. When men give up saying what is charming, they give up thinking what is charming. But seriously, what do you say to 2,000? £2,500, I think. In modern life, margin is everything. Windemere, don't you think the world is an intensely amusing place? I do.
They exit to the terrace. Music strikes up in the ballroom.
Stay in this house any longer is impossible. Tonight, a man who loves me offered me his whole life. I refused it. It was foolish of me. I will offer him mine. I will give him mine. I will go to him.
Puts on her cloak and rushes to the door, then turns back, sits down at a table, writes a letter, puts it in an envelope, and leaves it on the table.
Arthur has never understood me. When he reads this, he will. He may do as he chooses now with his life. I have done with mine as I think best, as I think right. It is he who has broken the bonds of marriage, not I. I only break its bondage.
Much like Maria von Trapp at the ball, she leaves. Parker enters and crosses towards the ballroom. Enter Mrs. Erlynne.
Is Lady Windemere in the ballroom?
Her ladyship has just gone out.
Gone out? She's not on the terrace.
No, madam. Her ladyship has just gone out of the house.
Out of the house?
Yes, madam. Her ladyship told me she had left a letter for his lordship on the table.
A letter for Lord Windemere?
Yes, madam.
Thank you.
Parker exits. The music in the ballroom stops.
Gone out of the house? A letter addressed to her husband?
Guess who picks up the letter?
No, it would be impossible. Life doesn't repeat its tragedies like that. Oh, why does this horrible fancy come across me? Why do I remember now the one moment of my life I wish to forget? Does life repeat its tragedies?
Don't open the letter, but she does. Reads it and sinks down into a chair with a gesture of anguish.
Oh, how terrible. The same words that 20 years ago I wrote to her father. And how bitterly I have been punished for it. No, my punishment, my real punishment is tonight. Is now.
Lord Windemere enters.
Have you said goodnight to my wife?
She crushes the letter in her hand.
Yes.
Where is she?
She is very tired. She has gone to bed. She said she had a headache.
I must go to her. You'll excuse me.
Oh, no. It's nothing serious. She's only very tired. That is all. Besides, there are people still in the supper room. She wants you to make her apologies to them. She said she didn't wish to be disturbed.
Oops, she dropped the letter.
She asked me to tell you.
Oops, he picks up the letter.
You've dropped something.
Oh, yes, thank you. That is mine.
But it's my wife's handwriting, isn't it?
Yes, it's an address. Will you ask them to call my carriage, please?
Certainly.
He leaves.
Thanks. What can I do? What can I do? I feel a passion awaking within me that I have never felt before. What can it mean? The daughter must not be like the mother. That would be terrible. How can I save her? How can I save my child? A moment may ruin a life. Who knows that better than me? Windemere must be got out of the house. That is absolutely necessary. But how shall I do it? It must be done somehow. Oh!
Lord Augustus enters carrying a bouquet.
Dear lady, I am in such suspense. May I not have an answer to my request?
Lord Augustus, listen to me. You are to take Lord Windemere down to your club at once and keep him there as long as possible. You understand?
But you said you wished me to keep early hours.
Do what I tell you. Do what I tell you.
And my reward?
Your reward? Your reward? Oh, ask me that tomorrow, but don't let Windemere out of your sight tonight. If you do, I will never forgive you. I will never speak to you again. I will have nothing to do with you. Remember, you are to keep Windemere at your club, and don't let him come back tonight.
She leaves.
Well, really, I might be a husband already. Positively, I might.
Follows, bewildered and in love. The curtain falls, and it's intermission.
Oh.
Just trying to do the right thing over here. Just trying to be a good guy. Whatever, though.
Yeah, but she didn't know because you
Whatever.
didn't communicate with
Tell
her.
me!
Jesus.
Everyone, nobody's guiltless in this play. Let's all, except Lord Augustus. Lord
Augustus is just dumb.
Has
I
done
just wanna
nothing
get
but follow
married.
her mother's directions.
That is so.
Just say the things.
No.
Say them.
Yeah, people
in
are so
society, it would ruin them.
non-communicative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad.
No, the stuff that it's so messed up, like the
Yeah.
little infractions that women had toward, like, which were considered their ruination. Whereas, no offense, men, but you guys could get away with anything, and you guys are still.
Yeah, pretty much.
Get away with literal murder.
Yep.
And women, it's like,
Murder.
oh, I stole onto the terrace with someone without a chaperone. Well, guess what? You're out of the ton now. Goodbye.
Guess what? You're a whore now.
Hooer.
Oh, we're missing
I'll be
Donald.
right
He
back.
must be AFK. Yeah, so this is intermission where we chat about the show and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for Lady Windemere. Oh my gosh.
Right?
This poor thing. Like, so she's 2 years into a marriage. She has an infant, basically, and then has no family outside of her husband.
She's quite young. She basically
21?
is like, almost frighteningly young when she's just like, I'm coming, like, I am of age now or something like that. And I'm like,
she
bro,
already
how
has
old are you?
a kid. She's married with a kid, but she's just coming of age. So you're like, oh my God.
Like,
Just
she's probably like 20.
If that.
Because, like, if
Yeah.
that.
No, I think
Probably got married at 16, 17.
Yeah.
probably, yeah.
Very young.
Well, because what was it like in? I think. Oh, Kari.
And how old is my husband, huh?
Probably 85.
Whoa! Losing the love
Mid-20s.
of life over here.
I was actually very
A lot
young.
of accusations.
I
being
thought he was young
kidding.
too. Because they married
That was
for
called
love.
comedy,
Yeah.
Christian. I was just kidding.
Because they married for love. Oh, and then you poor baby.
Married for love.
I also like how everyone is. It's just like poor Lady Windemere.
Oh my-
No, I'm
God.
not gonna help. I'm just gonna be like poo poo. Which is
David, that moment where she's like, but we married for love, and you're like, yeah,
Yeah,
so
we did too.
Before. Oh my gosh, it was so classic.
Yeah.
I almost spit out coffee all over my desk.
I was like,
so
we
funny.
sure did.
I do love. There's a line that you had, Allegra, that I love. It was, I don't remember what it is verbatim, but it's basically he broke the bonds of marriage, but I will.
So, I will break the bondage. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's I will
So
pull it up
good.
right now. It is he who has broken the bond of marriage, not I. I only break its bondage.
that is so.
Those are some words.
Them's words.
Uh,
Them's his words.
so
Important to note that I didn't. I mean, the bond, no, there was no breaking going on. There's a lot of assumed breaking.
What? Okay, but you're giving this strange woman a fuck ton of money, and you won't tell me why.
I'm not saying it's not weird. I'm just saying.
Just like,
Trust your husband. You should trust your husband, shouldn't you?
wow, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna blindly trust my husband, even though it looks like he's having an affair and he won't tell me otherwise.
Looks like is different than having.
So if people haven't, if you guys missed it, there was the reveal of the relationship between these two women.
Yes.
Yes. It is. So Lady Erlynne is Lady Windemere. Mrs. Erlynne is Lady
Mrs. Erlynne.
Windemere's.
Erlynne, Lady
Mama.
Windermere.
It's her
Those are very
mother.
important.
Yeah.
It's her mother.
Which,
We
like,
we'll learn more details later.
yeah,
But
like,
yes.
awesome to keep,
Scandal.
mom off the streets, but also make sure that you don't think your husband is sleeping with your mother. Like, that's kind of, or just a random woman too.
Way to go, Christian.
Yeah.
Although, like,
Where
just
is our child? Also, like, for reals? Like, just upstairs?
he's having a nappy poo. He probably has a maid.
Oh, I've got the child. It's mine now.
The one fantastic thing about it is that, like, Lady Windemere is a good woman, but
Oh,
she's
yeah.
an asshole at the same time because she sticks to those really rigid gender roles. And frankly, men aren't allowed to get away with stuff either. So to her credit, everyone sucks. But at the same time, she's so quick to assume the worst of people. And it seems like the ton just kind of feeds on that, you know?
It's all
Yeah.
gossip and hearsay.
Mhm.
Well, that's all they have.
Sorry, guys. This is Midnight. He just came to say.
Hi.
I'm gonna put you on speaker. If you can you talk? You're gonna just. I want everyone to see the puppy.
Hello, I'm speaking.
Oh my God! Look at the baby.
That's Midnight.
Oi, Bobby.
That's midnight, everybody.
He's on my lap right now.
My is, I believe, under the bed.
Aw, Milo.
I'm trying to figure out what to do about Spoon and Luna because they used to always be here whenever I streamed, but now I'm not streaming in the area where they can be. This is like this is the no-no zone.
Milo deliberately loves hanging out on the cat tower behind me
Oh, I love Wilde.
when I am not streaming. When I'm streaming, he's like, I like being under the bed. And I'm like, you little shit. Although I do have a Dorothea behind me.
Love her.
Hi, Dorothea.
She's so pretty.
Hello.
Who made her? Did you get it?
That one was Princess.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
trying- Let me see if she has other plushes.
She has. She sent. She has a Sedith and Flame.
She
I believe
does.
so, yes. I'm pulling up her Etsy right now.
So I'm trying to think of all the emotes.
She's not the one who has the Leone.
Somebody posted one, and I was like, I must have.
We should have a tea party with all our dolls. It's a Dexter baby. It's a Dexter. A baby.
Oh, baby!
So this is not intermission. This is time to pet all of the kitties and puppies time.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
So if
Pretty
you
much,
have a fur baby, go grab your fur baby, bring them into the chat.
So her shop is currently closed while she prepares for more stuff, so I can't
Oh.
pull up her current everything. Oh my god, she has a picture of just her living room right now.
Really? On
Her
where?
living room last, like actually on the 28th. It was just everything that went out this past weekend.
On
my God.
Twitter, or where is it?
It was on Twitter, yeah. Let me see if I have a picture of just the plushes. So, okay. So here are some of the new ones. Should I put it in Twitch or?
Yeah, you can put it in Twitch. That's totally
Okay.
Yeah.
So here are some of the newer ones. So that's, Lysithea, Annette, Felix, and Dory.
Love.
And I know that somewhere she also has.
Just look at Dexter. Oh my gosh.
I know.
Yeah. Sadly, it looks like her Twitter isn't like she hasn't tweeted that. Well, no. I don't know why more pictures aren't loaded thing. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, there's Annette and Dory. I gotta pull up there. Oh yeah, here's the full cast over here.
Oh, did you hear that, little meow?
No.
Oh, it was the sweetest little meow.
Oh.
So we are sucker for fur babies stream.
Us really? No. Okay, so here's the whole family. It's not, sadly, it doesn't look like there's a flame. It looks like Professor.
That's all good.
Yeah. But flame. The fish.
I love the expressions that all of these different plushies have.
Yeah.
Like, they're all so specific.
Like Gumpy Felix.
Yeah.
Flirty Hilda.
Grumpy,
Beautiful Dory.
grumpy Felix.
So pretty. She's
Beautiful
so
Dory.
pretty, Allegra.
I'm so happy.
Oh, bird children too.
And the little tassel to imitate the outfit, like weird corset thing that she has.
Love it.
So cute.
Yeah.
I love her.
So I'd love to share what emotes I'm doing.
Yes, do it.
In a
World
Intermission.
premiere reveal.
That's what it's called.
Emotes?
Yeah, and I'll get Milo too. See if I can lure him out so everyone can say hi.
Milo. I don't understand what they are.
emotes.
That's how old I am. I'm
Emotes?
old.
Oh no, you're fine. So on Twitch, there's a way of when we text, we can use emoticons.
Yeah. like
Um,
emoji
Yeah.
things,
So in Twitch, where we stream, you can have basically emoticons that you create or have someone create that are specific to you.
to you and to your show,
Yeah.
to your stream. I get it.
Yeah. So like,
Oh, I was like, yeah. Oh,
so
cool.
we have so Ryan, when I stream D&D with him, his group, they have some that are special for that. And I heard a baby. Is that a Milo? Is it my? Is it my?
Putting on the headphones as I come into
Oh, everyone! If you're on Twitch, everyone's showing their emotes. All the
I love
I get it now. Thank you so much for explaining this. I'm like, oh, they're so cute.
What?
Oh my.
What? What do you want?
Ugh.
What's your deal? What's your deal, boy?
I cannot convey to you how
Mother.
upset I am that I can't like give him smooches right now and just
I
love on
know.
him.
I'm not
Oh.
gonna lie. I'm pretty excited I got to meet him in person.
It's true. She did.
Oh
Hi.
my gosh, these plushies. These are fire.
Aren't they great? Yeah.
Yeah, they're Fire Emblem plushies.
So
They're so cute.
so I have my emotes list pulled up of the different things.
So I don't have like the concepts yet, but I have like the words of what they will be.
So I have like a happy welcome hello flaney fish. There'll be happy fishy flaney fish.
And then I have for thank you, Michelle, for the host. Hello, Michelle. I have a when we make an oops, I have a derpy Luna because she's kind
Yeah,
of
you do.
she's a bit of a derpy whoops. When everyone's feeling moments of love, that's gonna be a Spoon because Spoon is a little cuddleball. I'm gonna do an applause for when we do really awesomes for this. And then I'm gonna have like a hype train, a super sad puppy dog eyes when we're all super sad with the things, and then a when there's the shocks.
I like I like the anime gasp.
Nani?
Nani the fuck?
Yes.
Hold on 1 second. I just realized I'm not hosting you, so I'm gonna do that really
Oh,
quickly.
thank you so much.
Thanks for the hosting.
Yeah, of course.
And this is like kind of related / unrelated to everything. I could just listen to you talk, Allegra. I could just listen to you. You just
Hi.
talk.
I concur.
Why?
Because
You have a great
you have
voice. What-
such a.
Talk
Your voice
so
is so easy to listen to. It's just
like you
so
should
relaxing.
do this for a living.
Right?
Yeah, you know,
Like
I've been
what?
told by a few people. By the way, am I successfully hosting, or I tried to do it kind of backwards way?
It may
No, it's
only
not.
tell me after.
Soaring right now.
Oh,
and
thank
it's-
you, your favorite mic. Thank you, everyone. Oh, I'm
Yeah,
glad everyone
I
thinks
tried
they
to do
sound
it.
good. Thank you,
And
guys.
Tracey, I need to pass on some kudos. I don't know if you saw this in the chat, but when you were monologuing with Christian, the chat was going crazy.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, they
Yeah.
were, yeah.
She is.
I don't know what I was doing, but I appreciate it.
Killing it is what you were doing.
Stop. Go on. Go on.
It's a really
And also the entire chat is Team Lady Windemere.
Hell yeah, they are.
Because she's wronged.
Anytime it was like you and Christian, and it was the Lord and Lady like butting everyone in chat. Sorry, Christian.
Why are there teams? I have done nothing
You
wrong.
have.
Oh, really?
That's why there's
Spoiler.
a plot twist.
Lies.
Oh my god.
She's
we
like
have-
a woman
we bought this for
scorned.
Chris, but I
She's
feel
like
like
Hedda
that's
Gabler.
coming out.
I'm gonna steal your girl, Christian.
Don't you?
For
You're
real.
garbage.
Oh,
Let's
and
be
then you
clear
have
on that. You had Team Lady Windemere for 4 hours, and she's like, "Yeah, I'll run off with Darlington. That seems like a good idea."
Maybe. I mean, I don't know.
Because
To
she
be
thought
fair,
she
if I
was
had a
wrong.
mustache like that,
Yeah,
perhaps.
David, you need like
Yeah.
a garbage. You need like a garbage emote to like when a
for the
garbage
icky characters.
needs to be
Yeah.
garbage. That's
Take
what you
it
need
out.
Ooh.
for Mitch today.
Hold on, wait. Because art imitates life. Allegra constantly dunks on
So
Christian.
true.
It's so true.
Really Wilde's version of you two in life.
Yeah. You know, God, Christian, you finally got to be married to me, and this is what you do?
Help your mother? Keep her from the streets?
I'm just gonna use some of my fancy emotes right
Oh,
now.
Sensario, thank you so much for the gift sub. That's so kind of you. Thank you. Thank you all. Oh, guys.
Stevie, you have the coolest audience. They're so
They're all of our audience. That's why I'm like, if I ever do something by myself, are any of y'all going to be interested?
Yeah.
Duh.
I'm just here for the cat cameos.
Right? Real
They're the
mood.
real heroes of this story.
They really
Oh,
are.
Legua, thank you, Legua.
Oh no, I got the gift sub. Thank you so much,
Thank
Kita.
you. Oh, Kita, thank you. So I don't know if it should be still saved. Kita was very kind and invited me to do a chat on her channel recently. So it's probably
Ooh.
still in the video on demand if anyone is
Please
interested. But
post
she,
it. I would love to come back
Yeah.
and watch it.
Kita, if you can you link your Twitch? Is that okay? I can probably find it too. She's also got adorable emotes.
Yay,
They're
adorable.
adorable. They're adorable.
I think I just love this fan community because the artists are so freaking talented.
Right.
How you doing there, Mitch? I see you.
Yeah,
just-
this
I
is
see
just
you
for
hanging.
Mike right here. Hold on.
Watermelon head?
What? So I have a slightly not safe for work joke.
Oh.
It's
Uh-oh.
well, it's more like this is one of my mods took a picture of the URL tells you everything, but a picture of one of the legendary skins in Fall Guys right now.
Uh-huh. And while you're doing that, hey Ryan, they were asking about the D&D.
Yeah.
Looking it in the chat for everybody
Yeah.
so they can follow your studio.
So I linked. So it's twitch.tv/perception studio. But yeah,
Oh, I see.
Ryan, you can share more because Ryan does a lot more with perception than just just me. But they're all awesome. They are my friends, guys. So go support them. Everyone here, my friend.
They're what? Sorry, there's a gingerbread.
There's a ginger Mitch.
Oh.
A ginger Mitch man? A Mitchster bread?
Yes.
No, Mitchster bread?
Yeah, so that's what I want to bang, apparently.
What did you post, woman?
I love you, so sweet.
That's a skin
My God.
for Fall Guys. And it's very suggestive looking.
Wait, where I don't...
Like,
Oh, thank you, Kita, for the link. Thank you.
I want to see this.
Oh my goodness gracious, that's a thing. That's a mood.
It's a bullet.
yes, it is.
Oh my God.
Shall we continue with your play?
On that note,
That note, that's what Lady W needs right now. Who needs men?
Let's yeah.
Oh yeah, I should take this off.
I mean, I guess you should take it off.
I mean, I think
Woo,
it's hilarious.
or you could take it off.
Wow.
Hey.
Or that could be Lord Darlington.
Oh
True.
yeah, that's.
Lady
Oh, I think that's
Windermere.
no. Let's be real. That's Dumby right there. That's Dumby.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
That's 100% Dumby.
Uh-huh. All right. Please pardon the dog snores on my microphone.
Oh no, please put the
How
mic
dare
closer to
you.
the dog.
I need that woman sound clip, Allegra. But I can't play women because it's not my stream, so I can't do it.
If you would
Right.
like to, I am okay. Oh, but we probably can't hear it, huh?
Yeah, no, I can't. Like, I literally can't play it. So
May you say women for everyone?
yeah. Women. So,
May I be a woman? I mean, I am,
Yes.
but I am one of your women.
Joe March, women.mp3.
Oh, I love Jim. Yes.
Saoirse Ronan being very emotional about
You
women
would-
is.
If we were all in Little Women, you would be Joe.
Yeah,
You would be Joe.
I can see that.
Yeah. I think
It'd be a good role for me.
You'd be a good Joe. You'd be a good Joe. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, let's go.
We're not doing Little Women today.
We're not.
When last we left our intrepid players, we were on the third act. The scene is Lord Darlington's rooms. A large sofa is in front of the fireplace. At the back is a curtain drawn across a window. There are some doors to either side and a table full of writing materials. There are some glasses, a Tantalus frame. It's all very fancy. There's a cigar and a cigarette box. There are lamps lit. These might be important. We'll find out.
Why won't he come? This waiting is horrible. He should be here. Why is he not here to wake by passionate words some fire within me? I am cold. Cold as a loveless thing. Arthur must have read my letter by this time. If he cared for me, he would have come after me, would have taken me back by force. But he doesn't care. He's entrammelled by this woman, fascinated by her, dominated by her. If a woman wants to hold a man, she has merely to appeal to what is in the worst of him. We make gods of men and they leave us. Others make brutes of them and they fawn and are faithful. Oh, how hideous life is. Oh, it was mad of me to come here, horribly mad. And yet, which is the worst, I wonder, to be at the mercy of a man who loves one, or the wife of a man in one's own house dishonors one. What woman knows? What woman in the whole world? But will he love me anyway, this man to whom I am giving my life? What do I bring him? Lips that have lost the note of joy. Eyes that are blinded by tears, chill hands and an icy heart. I bring him nothing. I must go back. No. No, I can't go back. My letter has put me in their power. Arthur will not take me back. A fatal letter. No. Lord Darlington leaves England tomorrow. I will go with him. I have no choice.
Down for a minute, then she gets up and puts on her cloak.
No, I will go back and let Arthur do with me what he pleases. I can't wait here. It has been madness my coming. I must go at once. As for Lord Darlington... Oh, here he is. What shall I do? What can I say to him? Will he let me go away at all? I have heard that men are brutal, horrible. Oh!
Erlynne.
Lady Lady Windemere, thank heaven I am in time. You must go back to your husband's house immediately.
Must?
Yes, you must. There is not a second to be lost. Lord Darlington may return at any moment.
Don't come near me.
Oh, you are on the brink of ruin. You're on the brink of a hideous precipice. You must leave this place at once. My carriage is waiting at the corner of the street. You must come with me and drive straight home.
Lady Windemere throws off her cloak and flings it on the sofa.
What are you doing?
Mrs. Erlynne, if you had not come here, I would have gone back. But now that I see you, I feel that nothing in the whole world would induce me to live under the same roof as Lord Windemere. You fill me with horror. There is something about you that stirs the wildest rage within me. And I know why you are here. My husband sent you to lure me back that I might serve as a blind to whatever relations exist between you and him.
Oh, you don't think that. You can't.
Go back to my husband, Mrs. Erlynne. He belongs to you and not to me. I suppose he was afraid of a scandal. And are such cowards. They outrage every law of the world and are afraid of the world's tongue. But he had better prepare himself. He shall have a scandal. He shall have the world's worst scandal that has ever been in London for years. He shall see his name in every vile paper, mine on every hideous placard.
No.
Yes, he shall. Had he come himself, I admit I would have gone back to the life of degradation you and he had prepared for me. I was going back. But to stay himself at home and to send you as his messenger, oh, it was infamous. Infamous.
Lady Windemere, you wrong me horribly. You wrong your husband horribly. He doesn't know you are here. He thinks you are safe in your own house. He thinks you are asleep in your own room. He never read the letter, the mad letter you wrote to him.
Never read it?
No, he knows nothing about it.
Simple you think me, but you are lying to me.
I am not. I am telling you the truth.
If my husband didn't read my letter, how is it you are here? Who told you I had left the house you were shameless enough to enter? Who told you where I had gone to? My husband told you and sent you to decoy me back.
Your husband has never seen the letter. I saw it. I opened it. I read it.
You opened a letter of mine to my husband. You wouldn't dare.
Dare? Oh, to save you from the abyss into which you are falling? There is nothing in the world I would not dare. Nothing in the whole world. Here is the letter. Your husband has never read it. He never shall read it. It should have never been written.
How do I know that that was my letter at all? You seem to think the commonest device can take me in.
Oh, why do you disbelieve everything I tell you? What object do you think I have in coming here? Except to save you from utter ruin, to save you from the consequence of a hideous mistake. That letter is burnt now. That was your letter. I swear it to you.
You took good care to burn it before I had examined it. I cannot trust you. You, whose whole life is a lie, could you speak the truth about anything?
You...
Yes.
As you like about
Someone
me.
might need to speak for me for a moment.
Think as you like about me. Say what you choose against me, but go back. Go back to the husband you love.
I do not love him.
You do, and you know that he loves you.
He does not understand what love is. He understands it as little as you do, but I see what you want. It would be a great advantage for you to get me back. Dear heaven, what a life I would have then, living at the mercy of a woman who has neither pity nor mercy in her. A woman whom it is an infinite infamy to meet, a degradation to know, a vile woman, a woman who comes between husband and wife.
Lady Windemere, don't say such terrible things. You don't know how terrible they are, how terrible and how unjust. Listen, you must listen. Only go back to your husband, and I promise you never to communicate with him again on any pretext, never to see him, never to have anything to do with his life or yours. That money he gave me, He gave me not through love, but through hatred. Not in worship, but in contempt. The hold I have over him.
Ah, so you admit you have a hold?
Yes, and I will tell you what it is. It is his love for you, Lady Windemere.
You expect me to believe that?
You must believe it. It is true. It is his love for you that has made him submit to... Oh, call it what you like. Tyranny, threats, anything you choose. But it is his love for you, his desire to spare you. Shame. Yes, shame and disgrace.
What do you mean? You are insolent. What have I to do with you?
Nothing. I know it. But I tell you that your husband loves you. That you may never meet with such love again in your whole life. That such love you will never meet. And that if you throw it away, one day may come when you will starve for love, and it will not be given to you. Beg for love, and it will be denied you. Oh, Arthur loves you.
Arthur? And you tell me there is nothing between you?
Lady Windemere, before heaven, your husband is guiltless of all offence toward you. And I tell you that had it ever occurred to me that such a monstrous suspicion would have entered your mind, I would have died rather than have crossed your life or his. Oh, died! Gladly died!
You talk as if you have a heart. Women like you have no hearts. Heart is not in you. You are bought and sold.
She has a gesture of pain, then restrains herself and walks over to where Lady Windemere is sitting. As she speaks, she stretches her hands out towards her, but doesn't dare touch.
Believe what you choose about me. I am not worth a moment's sorrow. But don't spoil your beautiful young life on my account. You don't know what might be in store for you unless you leave this house at once. You don't know what is to fall into the pit, to be despised, mocked, abandoned, sneered at, to be an outcast, to find the door shut against one, to have to creep in by hideous byways, afraid lest every moment lest the mask be stripped from one's face, and all the while to hear the laughter, the horrible laughter of the world, a thing more tragic than all the tears the world has ever shed. You don't know what it is. One pays for one's sins, and then one pays again, and all the one's life one pays. You must never know that. As for me, if suffering be an expiration, then at this moment I've expiated all my faults, whatever they have been. For tonight, you have made a heart in one who had it not, made it and broken it. But let that pass. I may have wrecked my own life, but I will not let you wreck yours. Why, you are a mere girl. You would be lost. You haven't got the kind of brains that enables a woman to get back. You have neither the wit nor the courage. You couldn't stand dishonor. No. Go back, Lady Windemere, to the husband who loves you, whom you love. You have a child, Lady Windemere. Go back to that child who even now, in pain or in joy, may be calling to you. God gave you that child. He will require from you that you make his life fine, that you watch over him. What answer will you make to God if his life is ruined through you? Back to your house, Lady Windemere. Your husband loves you. He has never swerved for a moment from the love he bears you. But even if he had 1,000 loves, you must stay with your child. If he was harsh to you, you must stay with your child. If he ill-treated you, you must stay with your child. If he abandoned you, your place is with your child.
Lady Windemere bursts into tears. Mrs. Erlynne rushes to her.
Take me home. Take me home.
There's about to be a hug. Not quite. There's a wonderful look of joy on Mrs. Erlynne's face.
Come. Where is your cloak?
He gets it.
Here, put it on. Come at once.
They go to the door.
Stop. Don't you hear voices?
No, No, there was no one.
Yes, there is. Listen. That is my husband's voice. He is coming in. Save me. Oh, it's a plot. You have sent for him.
Silence! I am here to save you if I can, but I fear it is too late. There, the first chance you have, slip out. If you ever get the chance.
But you...
Oh, never mind me. I'll face them.
Lady Windemere hides behind the curtain, as one does. Outside, we hear Lord Agustus.
Oh, never mind me. I'll face them. Oh, that's not the right line. Sorry.
That would be nonsense, dear Windemere.
Yes. Nonsense, dear Windemere. You must not leave me.
Lord Augustus! Then it is I who am lost.
He hesitates for a moment, then looks around and exits. Enter Lord Darlington, Dumby, Windemere, and Augustus Lorton, as well as Mr. Cecil Graham.
What a nuisance they're turning us out of the club at this hour. It's only 2 o'clock. The lively part of the evening is only just beginning.
He yawns, closes his eyes.
It is very good of you, Lord Darlington, allowing Augustus to force our company on you, but I'm afraid I cannot stay long.
Really, I am so sorry. You'll take a cigar, won't you?
Thanks.
He's staying.
My dear boy, you must not dream of going. I have a great deal to talk to you about. A damned importance, too.
He also sits.
We all know what that is. Tubby can't talk about anything but Mrs. Erlynne.
Well, that's no business of yours, is it, Cecil?
None. That is why it interests me. My own business always bores me to death. I prefer other people's.
Have something to drink, you fellows. Cecil, you'll have a whiskey and soda.
Thanks. Mrs. Erlynne looked very handsome tonight, didn't she?
I am not one of her admirers.
I usedn't to be, but I am now. Why, she actually made me introduce her to poor dear Aunt Caroline. I believe she is going to lunch there.
No.
She is, really.
Excuse me, you fellows. I'm going away tomorrow. I have to write a few letters.
Goes to his writing table and sits.
Clever woman, Mrs. Erlynne.
Hello, Dumby. I thought you were asleep.
I am. I usually am.
A very clever woman. Knows perfectly well what a damn fool I am. Knows it all well as I do myself. You may laugh, my boy, but it is a great thing to come across a woman who thoroughly understands me.
It is an awfully dangerous thing. They always end up by marrying one.
But I thought, Tuppy, you were never going to see her again. Yes, you told me so yesterday evening at the club. You said you'd heard.
Oh, she explained that.
Ah, and the wise maiden affair?
She's explained that too.
And her income, Tuppy. Has she explained that?
She's going to explain that tomorrow.
Awfully commercial women nowadays. Grandmothers threw their caps over the mills, of course, but by Jove, their granddaughters only throw their caps over mills that can raise the wind for them.
You want to make her out a wicked woman. She is not.
Wicked women bother one. A good woman bore one. That is the only difference between them.
Miss Erlynne has a future before her.
Mrs. Erlynne has a past before her.
I prefer women with a past. They're always so damned amusing to talk to.
Well, you'll have lots of topics of conversations with her, Tuppy.
He rises and walks over to Augustus.
You're getting annoying, dear boy. You're getting damned annoying.
Now, Tuppy, you've lost your figure and you've lost your character. Don't lose your temper, you only have got one.
My dear boy, if I wasn't the most good-natured man in London...
We'd treat you with more respect, wouldn't we, Tuppy?
And he strolls away.
The youth of the present day are quite monstrous.
What?
They have absolutely no respect for dyed hair.
Mrs. Erlynne has a very great respect for dear Tuppy.
Then Mrs. Erlynne sets an admirable example to the rest of her sex. It is perfectly brutal the way most women nowadays behave to men who are not their husbands.
Dumby, you look delicious and ridiculous. And Cecil, you let your tongue run away with you. You must leave Mrs. Erlynne alone. You really don't know anything about her. You're always talking scandal against her.
My dear Arthur, I never talk scandal. I only talk gossip.
And where's the difference between scandal and gossip?
Gossip is charming. History is merely gossip, but scandal is gossip made tedious by morality. Now, I never moralize. A man who moralizes is usually a hypocrite, and a woman who moralizes is invariably plain. There is nothing in the whole world so unbecoming to a woman as a nonconformist conscience. And most women know it, I'm glad to say.
Just my sentiments, dear boy, just my sentiments.
Sorry to hear it, Tuppy. Whenever people agree with me, I always feel I must be wrong.
My dear boy, when I was your age...
But you never were, Tuppy, and you'll never will be. I say, Darlington, let us have some cards. You'll play Arthur, won't you?
No thanks, Cecil.
Good heavens. How marriage ruins a man. It's as demoralizing as cigarettes and far more expensive.
You'll play, of course, Tuppy.
Can't, dear boy. Promised Miss Erlynne never to play or drink again.
This says he's pouring himself a drink.
Now, my dear Tuppy, don't be led astray into the paths of virtue. Reformed, you would be perfectly tedious. That is the worst of women. They always want one to be good, and if we are good, when they meet us, they don't love us at all. They like to find us quite irretrievably bad, and to leave us quite unattractively good.
Darlington got from the table where he's been writing.
They always do find us bad. I don't think we're bad. I think we're all good, except Tuppy. No, we are all in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars. We are all in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars. Upon my word, you are very romantic tonight, Darlington.
Too romantic. You must be in love. Who is the girl?
Yes.
The woman I love is not free, or thinks she isn't.
Glances instinctively at Lord Windemere.
A married woman, then. Well, there's nothing in the world like devotion of a married woman. It's a thing no married man knows anything about.
Oh, she doesn't love me. She's a good woman. She's the only good woman I've ever met in my life.
The only good woman you have ever met in your life?
Yes.
Well, you are a lucky fellow. Why, I have met hundreds of good women. I never seem to meet any but good women. The world is perfectly packed with good women. To know them is a middle-class education.
This woman has purity and innocence. She has everything we men have lost.
My dear fellow, what on earth should we men do going about with purity and innocence? A carefully thought-out buttonhole is much more effective.
She doesn't really love you, then. No, she does not. I congratulate you, my dear fellow. In this world, there are only two tragedies. One is not getting what one wants, the other is getting it. The last is much the worst. The last is a real tragedy. But I'm interested to hear she does not love you. How long could you love a woman who didn't love you, Cecil?
A woman who didn't love me? All my life!
So could I, but it's so difficult to meet one. How can you be so conceited, Dumby? I didn't say it's a matter of conceit. I said it was a matter of regret. I have been wildly, madly adored. I am sorry I have. It has been an immense nuisance. I should like to be allowed a little time to myself now and then.
Well, time to educate yourself, I suppose.
No, time to forget all I have learned. This is much more important, dear Tuppy. What cynics you fellows are.
What is a cynic?
A man who knows the price of everything and the value of nothing.
And a sentimentalist, my dear Darlington, is a man who sees an absurd value in everything and doesn't know the market price of any single thing.
You always amuse me, Cecil. You talk as if you are a man of experience.
I am.
You are far too young.
That is a great error. Experience is a question of instinct about life. I have got it. Tuppy hasn't. Experience is the name Tuppy gives to his mistakes. That is all.
Experience is the name everyone gives to their mistakes.
One shouldn't commit any.
He sees Lady Windemere's fan on the sofa.
Life would be very dull without them.
Of course, you are quite faithful to this woman you are in love with, Darlington, to this good woman.
Cecil, if one really loves a woman, all other women in the world become absolutely meaningless to one. Love changes one. I am changed.
Dear me, how very interesting. Tuppy, I want to talk to you.
Tuppy takes no notice.
It's no use talking to Tuppy. You might as well just talk to a brick wall.
But I like talking to a brick wall. It's the only thing in the world that never contradicts me. Tuppy!
Well, what is it? What is it?
He gets up and walks over to Cecil.
Come over here. I want you particularly. Darlington has been moralizing and talking about the purity of love, and that sort of thing, and he has got some woman in his room all the time.
No, really? Really?
Yes. Here is her fan.
Dun dun dun.
By Jove! By Jove!
I really am off now, Lord Darlington. I'm sorry you're leaving England so soon. Pray, call on us when you come back. My wife and I will be charmed to see you.
I am afraid I shall be away for many years. Good night.
Arthur,
What?
I want to speak to you for a moment. No, do come.
I can't. I'm off.
Putting on his coat.
It is something very particular. It will interest you enormously.
There's no doubt some of your nonsense, Cecil.
It isn't. It isn't really.
Oh, my dear fellow, you mustn't go yet. I have to talk to you about, I have a lot to talk to you about, and Cecil has something to show you.
Well, what is it?
Darlington has got a woman here in his room. Here is her fan. Amusing, isn't it?
Good God.
Takes the fan. Dumby gets up.
What is the matter?
Lord Darlington!
Yes.
What is my wife's fan doing here in your rooms? Hands off, Cecil! Don't touch me!
Your wife's fan?
Yes, here it is!
I don't know.
You must know. I demand an explanation. Don't hold me, you fool!
She is here after all.
Speak, sir. Why is my wife's fan here? Answer me, by God, I'll search your rooms, and if my wife is here, I swear I...
You shall not search my rooms. You have no right to do so. I forbid you.
You scoundrel. I will not leave your room till I have searched every corner of it. What moves behind that curtain?
Lord Windemere.
Mrs. Erlynne.
Everyone starts and turns around. Lady Windemere slips out from behind the curtain and glides from the room.
I am afraid I took your wife's fan in mistake for my own when I was leaving your house tonight. I'm so sorry.
She takes the fan from him. Lord Windemere looks at her in contempt. Darlington in mingled astonishment and anger. Augustus turns away. The men smile at each other. And that is the end of Act 3. At the beginning of Act 4, we are in the same place as in Act 1.
Everyone get out of my house. How can I tell him? I can't tell him. It will kill me. I wonder what happened after I escaped that horrible room. Perhaps she told them the true reason of her being there, the real meaning of that fatal fan of mine. Oh, if he knows, how can I look him in the face again? You would never forgive me.
She touches a bell.
How securely one thinks one lives, out of reach of temptation, sin, folly. And then suddenly... Life is terrible. It rules us, we do not rule it.
Rosalie enters.
Did your ladyship ring for me?
Yes. Have you found out at what time Lord Windemere came in last night?
Oh, his lordship did not come in till 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock?
Yes, my
He knocked
lady.
at my door. He knocked at my door this morning, didn't he?
Yes, my lady, at 9:30. I told him your ladyship was not awake yet.
Did he say anything?
Something about your ladyship's fan? I didn't quite catch what the lordship said. Has the fan been lost, my lady? I can't find it, and Parker says it was not left in any of the rooms. He's looked in all of them and on the terrace as well.
It doesn't matter. Tell Parker not to trouble. That will do.
Exit Rosalie.
She is sure to tell him. I can fancy a person doing a wonderful act of self-sacrifice, doing it spontaneously, recklessly, nobly, and afterwards finding out that it costs too much. Why should she hesitate between her ruin and mine? How strange. I would have publicly disgraced her in my own house. She accepts public disgrace in the house of another to save me. There's a bitter irony in things. A bitter irony in the way we talk of good and bad women. Oh, what a lesson. And what a pity that in life we only get our lessons when they are no use to us. For even if she doesn't tell, I must. Oh, the shame of it all. To tell it is to live through it all again. Actions are the first tragedy in life, words are the second. Words are perhaps the worst, words are merciless.
She starts. Windemere enters.
Margaret, how pale you look.
I slept very badly.
I'm so sorry. I came in dreadfully late and I didn't like to wake you. Dear, you're crying.
Yes, I am crying. For I have something to tell you, Arthur.
My dear child, you are not well. You have been doing too much. Let's go away to the country. You'll be all right at Selby. The season is almost over. There's really no use in staying on. You poor darling. We'll go away today if you like. We can easily catch the 3:40. I'll send a wire to Fannin.
Austin sits down to write a telegram.
Yes, let us go away today. No, I can't go away. I can't go today, Arthur. There is someone I must see before I leave town. Someone who has been kind to me.
Kind to you?
Far more than that. I will tell you, Arthur, but only love me as you used to love me.
Used to? You're not thinking of that wretched woman who came here last night. You don't still imagine? No, you couldn't.
I don't. I know now I was wrong and foolish.
It was very good of you to receive her last night. But you are never to see her again.
Why do you say that?
He holds her hand.
Margaret, I thought Mrs. Erlynne was a woman more sinned against than sinning, as the phrase goes. I thought she wanted to be good, to get back into a place that she had lost by a moment's folly, to lead, again, a decent life. I believed what she told me. I was mistaken in her. She is bad as a woman can be.
Arthur, don't talk so bitterly about any woman. I don't think now that people can be divided into good and the bad as though they were two separate races or creations. What are called good women may have terrible things in them, mad moods of recklessness, assertion, jealousy, sin. Bad women, as they are termed, may have in them sorrow, repentance, pity, sacrifice. And I don't think Mrs. Erlynne a bad woman. I know she's not.
My dear child, the woman's impossible. No matter what harm she tries to do us, you must never see her again. She is inadmissible anywhere.
But I want to see them. I want her to come here.
Never!
She came here once as your guest. She must now come as mine. That is but fair.
She should never have come here.
It is too late, Arthur, to say that now.
Margaret, if you knew where Mrs. Erlynne went last night, after she left this house, you would not sit in the same room with her. It was absolutely shameless, the whole thing.
Arthur, I can't bear it any longer. I must tell you. Last night...
Parker enters with a tray on which lies Lady Windemere's fan and a card.
Mrs. Erlynne has called to return your ladyship's fan, which she took away by mistake last night. Mrs. Erlynne has written a message on the card.
Oh, ask Mrs. Erlynne to be kind enough to come up.
It's the card.
Say I shall be very glad to see her.
Parker exits.
She wants to see me, Arthur.
Windemere reads the card.
I beg you not to. Let me see her first, at any rate. She's a very dangerous woman. She's the most dangerous woman I know. You don't realize what you're doing.
It is right that I should see her.
Child, you may be on the brink of a great sorrow. Don't go meet it. It is absolutely necessary that I should see her before you do.
Why should it be necessary?
Oh, look, here's Parker.
Mrs. Erlynne.
And Mrs. Erlynne.
How do you do, Lady Windemere? How do you do? Do you know, Lady Windemere, I am so sorry about your fan. I can't imagine how I made such a silly mistake. Most stupid of me, and as I was driving in your direction, I thought I would take the opportunity of returning your property in person with many apologies for my carelessness and of bidding you goodbye.
Goodbye.
He goes to sit next to Mrs. Erlynne.
Are you going away then, Mrs. Erlynne?
Yes, I am going to live abroad again. The English climate doesn't suit me. My heart is affected here, and that I don't like. I prefer living in the south. London is too full of fogs and serious people. Lord Windemere. Whether the fogs produce the serious people, or whether the serious people produce the fogs, I don't know. But the whole thing rather gets on my nerves, and so I'm leaving this afternoon by the club train.
This afternoon? But I wanted so much to come and see you.
Oh, how kind of you. But I'm afraid I have to go.
Shall I never see you again, Mrs. Erlynne?
I am afraid not. Our lives lie too far apart. But there is a little thing I would like you to do for me. I want a photograph of you, Lady Windemere. Would you give me one? You don't know how grateful I should be.
Oh, with pleasure. There is one on that table. I'll show it to you.
He goes across to get it. Lord Windemere comes up to Mrs. Erlynne and speaks low.
It is monstrous you're intruding yourself here after your conduct last night.
My dear Windemere, manners before morals.
Lady Windemere returns.
I am afraid it is very flattering. I'm not so pretty as that.
You are much prettier. But haven't you got one of yourself with your little boy?
I have. Would you prefer one of those?
Yes.
I'll go and get it for you, if you'll excuse me for a moment. I have one upstairs.
So sorry, Lady Windemere, to give you so much trouble.
No trouble at all, Mrs. Erlynne.
Thanks so much.
Lady W exits.
You seem rather out of temper this morning, Windemere. Why should you be? Margaret and I get on charmingly together.
I bear to see you with her. Besides, you have not told me the truth, Mrs. Erlynne.
I have not told her the truth, you mean?
I sometimes wish you had. I should have been spared then the misery, the anxiety, the annoyance of the last 6 months. But rather than my wife should know that the mother whom she was taught to consider as dead, the mother whom she has mourned as dead, is living, a divorced woman, going about under an assumed name, a bad woman, preying upon life, as I now know you to be. Rather than that, I was ready to supply you with the money to pay bill after bill, extravagance after extravagance, to risk what occurred yesterday, the first quarrel I've ever had with my wife. You don't understand what that means to me. How could you? But I tell you that the only bitter words that ever came from those sweet lips of hers were on your account, and I hate to see you next to her. You sully the innocence that is in her. And I used to think that with all your faults you were frank and honest. You are not.
Why do you say that?
You made me get you an invitation to my wife's ball.
For my daughter's ball, yes.
You came, and within an hour of your leaving the house, you are found in a man's rooms. You are disgraced before everyone.
Yes.
Therefore, I have a right to look upon you as what you are, a worthless, vicious woman. I have the right to tell you never to enter this house, never to attempt to come near my wife.
My daughter, you mean?
You have no right to claim her as your daughter. You left her. Abandoned her when she was but a child in the cradle. Abandoned her for your lover, who abandoned you in turn.
Do you count that to his credit, Lord Windemere, or to mine?
His, now that I know you.
Take care. You had better be careful.
I'm not going to mince words for you. I know you thoroughly.
I question that.
I do know you. For 20 years of your life, you lived without your child, without a thought of your child. One day you read in the papers that she had married a rich man. You saw your hideous chance. You knew that to spare her the ignominy of learning that a woman like you was her mother, I would endure anything. You began your blackmail.
Don't use ugly words, Windemere. They are vulgar. I saw my chance. It is true, and took it.
Yes, you took it. And spoiled it all last night by being found out.
You are quite right. I spoiled it all last night.
And as for your blunder in taking my wife's fan from here and then leaving it about in Darlington's rooms, it is unpardonable. Can't bear the sight of it now. I shall never let my wife use it again. The thing is soiled for me. You should have kept it and not brought it back.
I think I shall keep it.
He gets up.
It's extremely pretty. I shall ask Margaret to give it to me.
I hope that my wife shall.
Though I'm sure she will have no objection.
I wish that at the same time she would give you a miniature she kisses every night before she prays. It is the miniature of a young, innocent-looking girl with beautiful, dark hair.
Ah, yes, I remember. How long ago it seems. It was done before I was married. Dark hair and an innocent expression were the fashion then, Windemere.
What do you mean by coming here this morning? What is your object?
To bid goodbye to my dear daughter, of course.
Windemere's pissed. They stare each other down. And then this.
Oh, I don't imagine I'm going to have a pathetic scene with her, weep on her neck and tell her who I am and all that kind of thing. I have no ambition to play the part of a mother. Only once in my life have I known a mother's feelings. That was last night. They were terrible. They made me suffer. They made me suffer so much. For 20 years, as you say, I have lived childless. I want to live childless still. Besides, my dear Windemere, how on earth could I pose as a mother with a grown-up daughter? Margaret is 21, and I have never admitted I am more than 29 or 30 at the most. 29 when there are pink shades, 30 when there are not. So you see what difficulties this would involve. No, as far as I am concerned, let your wife cherish the memory of this dead, stainless mother. Why should I interfere with her illusions? I find it hard enough to keep my own. I lost one illusion last night. I thought I had no heart. I find I have. And a heart doesn't suit me, Windemere. Somehow it doesn't go with modern dress. It makes one look old. And it spoils one's career at critical moments.
You fill me with horror. With absolute horror.
I suppose, Windemere, you would like me to retire into a convent or become a hospital nurse or something of that kind, as people do in silly modern novels. That is stupid of you, Arthur. In real life, we don't do such things, not as long as we have any good looks left at any rate. No. What consoles one nowadays is not repentance, but pleasure. Repentance is quite out of date, and besides, if a woman really repents, she has to go to a bad dressmaker. Otherwise, no one believes in her, and nothing in the world would induce me to do that. No, I'm going to pass entirely out of your two lives. My coming into them has been a mistake. I discovered that last night.
Fatal mistake.
Almost fatal.
I'm sorry now I did not tell my wife the whole thing at once.
I regret my bad actions, you regret your good ones. That is the difference between us.
I don't trust you. I will tell my wife. It's better for her to know, and from me. It will cause her infinite pain. It will humiliate her terribly, but it is right that she should know.
You propose to tell her?
I am going to tell her.
If you do, I will make my name so infamous that it will mar every moment of her life. It will ruin her and make her wretched. If you dare to tell her there is no depth of degradation I will not sink to, no pit of shame I will not enter, you shall not tell her. I forbid you.
Why?
If I said to you that I cared for her, perhaps loved her even, you would sneer at me, wouldn't you?
I should feel it was not true. A mother's love means devotion, unselfishness, sacrifice. What could you know of such things?
You are right. What could I know of such things? Don't let us talk any more about it. As for telling my daughter who I am, that I do not allow. It is my secret. It is not yours. If I make up my mind to tell her, and I think I will, I shall tell her before I leave the house. If not, I shall never tell her.
Then let me beg you to leave our house at once. I will make your excuses to Margaret.
Oh, here comes Lady Windemere. She walks over to Mrs. Erlynne with a photograph in her hand. Lord Windemere retreats to the sofa, watches anxiously as the scene progresses.
So sorry, Mrs. Erlynne. I'm so sorry, Mrs. Erlynne, to have kept you waiting. I couldn't find the photograph anywhere. At last I discovered it in my husband's dressing room. He had stolen it.
She takes a peek at the photo.
I am not surprised. It is charming. And so this is your little boy. What is he called?
Gerard, after my dear father.
Really?
Yes. If it had been a girl, I would have called her after my mother. My mother had the same name as myself, Margaret.
Ah, my name is Margaret too.
Indeed.
You are devoted to your mother's memory, Lady Windemere. Your husband tells me.
We all have ideals in life. At least we all should have. Mine is my mother.
Ideals are dangerous things. Realities are better. They wound, but they're better.
If I lost my ideals, I should lose everything.
Everything?
Yes.
Did your father often speak to you of your mother?
No, it gave him too much pain. He told me how my mother had died a few months after I was born. His eyes filled with tears as he spoke. Then he begged me to never mention her name to him again. It made him suffer to even hear it. My father really died of a broken heart. His was the most ruined life I know.
I'm afraid I must go now, Lady Windemere.
Oh, no, don't.
I think I had better. My carriage must have come back by this time. I sent it to Lady Jedburgh's with a note.
Arthur, would you mind seeing if Mrs. Erlynne's carriage has come back?
Oh, pray don't trouble Lord Windemere.
Yes, Arthur, do go. Please.
Lord W hesitates for a minute, looks over at Mrs. Erlynne. She's quite impassive. Out he goes.
Oh, what am I to say to you? You saved me last night.
Hush. Don't speak of it.
I must speak of it. I can't let you think that I am going to accept this sacrifice. I am not. It is too great. I am going to tell my husband everything. It is my duty.
It is not your duty. At least you have duties to others besides him. You say you owe me something.
I owe you everything.
Then pay your debt by silence. That is the only way in which it can be paid. Don't spoil the one good thing I have done in my life by telling it to anyone. Promise me that what passed last night will remain a secret between us. You must not bring misery into your husband's life. Why spoil his love? You must not spoil it. Love is easily killed. Oh, how easily love is killed. Pledge me your word, Lady Windemere, that you will never tell him. I insist upon it.
It is your will, not mine.
Yes, it is my will. And never forget your child. I like to think of you as a mother. I like to think of yourself. I like you to think of yourself as one.
I always will now. Only once in my life I've forgotten my own mother. That was last night. Oh, if I had remembered her, I should not have been so foolish, so wicked.
Hush. Last night is quite over.
Lord W enters.
Your carriage has not come back yet, Mrs. Erlynne.
It makes no matter. I'll take a hansom. There is nothing in the world so respectable as a good Shrewsbury and Talbot. And now, dear Lady Windemere, I am afraid it is really goodbye. Oh, I remember. You will think me absurd, but you know I've taken a great fancy to this fan that I was silly enough to run away with last night from your ball. Now, I wonder if you would give it to me. Lord Windemere says you may. I know it is his present.
Oh, certainly, if it would give you any pleasure. But it has my name on it. It has Margaret on it.
But we have the same Christian name.
Oh, I forgot. Of course, do have it. What a wonderful chance of our names being the same.
Quite wonderful. Thanks. It will always remind me of you.
Shakes hands with her daughter. Parker enters.
Lord Augustus Lawton, Mrs. Erlynne's carriage has come.
Come on in, Tuppy.
Good morning, dear boy. Good morning, Lady Windemere. Miss Erlynne.
How do you do, Lord Augustus? Are you quite well this morning?
Quite well, thank you, Miss Erlynne.
You don't look at all well, Lord Augustus. You stop up too late. It is so bad for you. You really should take more care of yourself. Goodbye, Lord Windemere.
He walks to the door with a bow to Lord Augustus, suddenly smiles and looks back up at him.
Lord Augustus, won't you see me to my carriage? You might carry the fan.
Allow me.
No, I want Lord Augustus. I have a special message for the dear Duchess. Won't you carry the fan, Lord Augustus?
If you really desire it, Miss Erlynne.
Of course I do. You carry it so gracefully. You would carry off anything gracefully, dear Lord Augustus.
When she reaches the door, she looks back for a moment at Lady Windemere. Their eyes meet. She turns and exits, followed by Lord Augustus.
You will never speak against Mrs. Erlynne again, Arthur, will you?
She is better than one thought her.
She is better than I am.
Child, you and she belong to different worlds. Into your world, evil has never entered.
Don't say that, Arthur. There is the same world for all of us, and good and evil, sin and innocence go through it hand in hand. To shut one's eyes to half of life that one may live securely is, though one blinded oneself that one might walk with more safety in a land of pit and precipice.
Darling, why would you say that?
Because I, who had shut my eyes to life, came to the brink. And one who had separated us.
We were never separated.
We must never be again. Oh, Arthur, don't love me less, and I will trust you more. I will trust you absolutely. Let us go to Selby. In the rose garden at Selby, the roses are white and red.
Lord Augustus enters.
Arthur, she has explained everything.
Lady Windemere looks horribly frightened at this. Lord W snorts. Lord Augustus takes Windemere by the arm and brings him to the front, and they speak rapidly in a low voice. Lady Windemere is wondering what TH is going on.
My dear fellow, she has explained every damned thing. We all wronged her immensely. It was entirely for my sake she went into Darlington's room, called first to the club. Fact is, wanted to put me out of suspense, and being told I had gone on, followed. Naturally frightened when she heard a lot of us coming, retired to another room. I assure you, most gratifying to me, the whole thing. We all behaved brutally to her. She's just the woman for me, suits me down to the ground. All the conditions she makes are that we live entirely out of England. A very good thing, too. Damned clubs, damned climate, damned cooks, damned everything. Sick of it all.
Has Mrs. Erlynne...
Yes, Lady Windemere, Miss Erlynne has done me the honor of accepting my hand.
Well, you are certainly marrying a very clever woman.
Ah, you're marrying a very good woman.
And the curtain falls. That is the end of Act 4 and the end of our play.
Yay!
Yay!
My feels, guys! My heart!
Ah!
I mean, it kind of worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Mitch!
Worked out.
Did you guys see
Alright.
Mitch? I need to like, oh my god, that's amazing.
Wait, legit?
Oh my god.
You know, waterproof mascara will take care of that, Mitch.
This show. Oh my gosh. There are so many like shows and movies about father-son relationships. There aren't enough about daughters and their moms.
Yeah.
There are not
Yeah.
enough. And Brave didn't work for me. Sorry. It wasn't enough. I wanted more.
No, it didn't work. It didn't work because they kicked out the female director and replaced it with a boy.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of what I wanted Tangled to be as well. I wanted it to focus
Oh,
more
right.
on Gothel.
Yep.
And I mean, I liked Flann a lot, or Flann, excuse me, but
Yeah.
I wish it had just been a little bit more her and her mom. Like that's the movie I wanted a little bit more.
I got it from this though. A bit.
Oof.
Oh my god.
Oh,
I just want to Tracey and Allegra.
Holy.
Just I'm gonna stand up.
I'm so sad. I'm like, Allegra, I'm sorry.
That was
It's okay.
Oh my god, feels you guys. You
It was
just
so
knocked it
good.
apart.
Oh.
Well, and the
I
thing
don't know.
is-
There was a moment where I totally said the opposite of what the line meant when I'm like, oh, and also I'm totally screwed because my relationship is over, and then I was like, no, whoops.
Oh,
The
you're
audience still
fine.
got what I meant.
Yeah.
I love how you had Augustus walk out with you with that very heavy fan. Just, you know, I need you to hold this
I mean,
fan.
hold my purse. I mean, my
Well,
fan.
it's like when I go over to my husband, I'm like, Darlington, can you hold my fan?
I'm gonna say,
What do you fucking
Hey.
want? Like,
oh, wow.
like, oh, I'm sorry. She's here. She's here.
It's real when they can't hold the fans. I just otherwise they'd be forced to smack them with it.
It's like I need you to hold this so I don't hit you with it.
Yeah.
Oh God, the moment where when Mrs. Erlynne walks in and she drops the fan because she can't actually bring herself to attack her. She's too good a woman. She's too good.
That's the thing is everyone like there's always the why don't they talk to each other? But then there would be no story.
Yeah.
But everyone loves each other so intensely.
Sorry, OnlyFans, that made me laugh.
Oh, it's okay.
What?
I apologize. I'm so sorry, Deva. You were making a very serious point. I happened to look over and laugh. I'm so sorry.
No,
I
you're
wanted
totally
to
fine.
say her dad died.
I'm very excited to announce that I am opening up on OnlyFans. It's only this fan.
Just fans.
OnlyFans.
That's
all
it. It's only this fan.
But
So I just want to make sure I understand that after I cheated on my husband, he raised her.
Yeah.
But died.
Right, but he wasn't
Early
the
as
real
well.
dad.
No, he was the real dad.
No,
No.
he was the guy I cheated on.
Yeah, well, no, you were married to my dad,
Right.
and then you left my dad to be with your
Oh,
lover.
I thought maybe you were somebody else's baby.
No.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
okay.
No, you were actually my mom. You
So
left my
I already
dad.
had to be a little baby just like you do, and then
Yeah.
I got messed up.
Yeah. Also, 21. Looks like I just turned 21,
Yeah,
which
I
means
Yeah, I know. I saw that. I was like,
baby's first drink. Yeah, man, I should have been drinking up at my party, and instead, my husband.
Was trying to bring your mother back from the dead.
much
Well, that's
too young. You're married with a kid when you should be having fun.
the thing that was just gutting me is you have both Lord Windemere and Mrs. Erlynne who love Lady Windemere desperately. They desperately love her, and they're both trying to do the right thing and are almost blinded by their love of her to try to reconcile their own beef. Because I'm like, guys, oh my gosh, my heart just can't. I can't.
The funny thing is, I don't think Mrs. Erlynne realized the extent to which she loved Lady Windemere until she saw the note.
Uh-huh.
And was like, you are going to make the same mistake I did Like literally the exact same mistake. 6-month-old child asleep in the crib. You're going to run off with your lover. Don't fucking do it. Don't do it.
Totally. And I'm
it.
sure she still felt all the things. She just buried it so hard.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not going to deal with those feelings. I'm going to just pretend I'm fine. And then you can't. You see that note.
And also, I feel like with the history of the time, Mrs. Erlynne really didn't have if she wanted her daughter to have a chance at anything, you know, if people knew that there was an affair, that anything, obviously she's going to be ruined to society, but it's like, no, I want my daughter to have this. So what's the only option I can do for her? I can leave.
Totally.
Which is so screwed up and sad.
And the idea that like you have a chance to have a relationship now, and you're in love, and you have a chance to start over, and they've got more than enough money to help, and you know, maybe you shouldn't be stealing money, but like, you know, like it's just temporary to be able to be in her life again, and to be able to like have a new chance to be in her life, and to be in love, and to be like a legitimate person finally.
The other crazy thing when you think about it is that the father lied about what happened to the mother. Yeah. And to be perfectly honest, there's probably an empty grave that has like, you know, Mrs. Erlynne's real name on it.
Yeah.
To
protect his daughter.
To build up to protect himself and his own marriage.
Yeah.
It was
his daughter.
And his daughter as well, but it's just like, don't ask me about your mom, don't ask me about your mom. Is like, you know, we no one can know that she left me. So she's dead.
Yep.
Well,
it's
this
a lot
was
of good intentions that go way by the wayside. A lot of things. I mean, and in the play too. I mean, the attempt was like, look, we can try to bring her back into society. Oh fuck, apparently not. Oh god.
Well, and like Allegra, what I like is that like we're not sure. Like we think it's total selfishness, and then we think it's good intentions, and then maybe it's a mixture of the two. And then maybe it's this. Like we keep getting flipped.
Yep.
You know, it's like when a TV show, we think that somebody's the villain, and then all of a sudden we realize, like, oh, we're sympathetic to them, and like this does this really well.
What she says to Lord Windemere when she's just like, you know, oh, I never wanted to be a mother, like blah blah blah, like I can't do that to her. Like I found out I had a heart, and that was too much for me. It's just like, ha 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 ha. I've never had a feeling in my life.
Nice.
Like I have never had a feeling in my life. Right? You know.
I swear.
I promise. I've never felt anything before. It's like the layers of self-defense that, you know, she lies. She's lying to others, but she's also lying to herself. You know.
Yep.
Well, this is such a feel-good show, everybody. Yay! Such a happy show.
It's a happy show.
It ends well. Everybody gets, in a way, what they want, even though it is certainly not the ideal ending of the thing.
No.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Wow.
So Oscar Wilde, dramas too, not just
fucking Oscar Wilde, man.
Yeah. I know. Whenever I think of Oscar Wilde, I'm just like, comedy. I'm like, no, he also.
No.
Oh, he pulled some punches.
And that's the thing. It's still a comedy. That's the thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's still a comedy, and it's got that Oscar Wilde like witticism to it.
Oh, absolutely. And commentary, just like
oh my god, everywhere.
Quick.
Oscar Wilde's there like, hold on, I'm about to tell you everything that's bothering me right now.
Yep. Oh, I love Oscar Wilde. Well, thank you all for joining us. And
thank you.
It was so fun.
Oh, thank you for the cheers. Excellent performances all around. Thank you. Shimmy, shaking, bake. That's amazing. And I just want to say to anyone who follows or subs or anything, I'm so grateful for you all. I don't do shout outs when people are doing their scenes just because it would be rude to the actors. But like,
you know, Tracy's crying, hey, shout out to someone for subbing.
Sorry, Tracy. I appreciate your
Fine.
tears.
It's totally fine.
Thanks for the bits.
Fine.
All right. Well, I'm gonna rub the string.
All right.
Thank you guys so much.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah. Yes,
Yes.
when he was in jail and when he wrote comedies and when he
Oh,
wrote sad
gosh,
stuff
yeah.
and when whatever. Now I'm going to go down a rabbit hole. I can feel it.
Oh no, it's so. Oh yeah, everyone research Oscar Wilde because he's amazing and tremendous. And I know I was like, okay, bye stream. But his tragedy is just we celebrate him now, but in his time he only had a couple months of
He was my age
of
when he
anything.
Someone's asking, are we dark next week?
Oh,
Yes.
So there's 5 weeks
There's
this month.
5 in August.
Yes.
Right
So
now,
next week is dark.
Next week is dark.
5th week, we're thinking of doing it Antony and Cleopatra, so we bookend August with Julius Caesar and
Yeah.
Ooh.
Sequels!
right.
More
Wow.
murder.
Yeah.
Nice to see you guys. Thanks for the chance to play.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Thank you,
Always
stream.
grateful. Nice to meet you, Allegra.
Nice to meet